Like, that's, if Arvell Reese doesn't go 2, that means the draft started at 2, kind of.
Yeah, and then I think another big theme tonight is going to be no one's trading out of 27. So if you see a trade out of 27, my hunch that would take a massive haul in terms of moving like all the way up. I don't even think anyone's moving up to 2 or 3 for that. No one's trading out of 27 with one possible exception, and that would be a team like the Rams, who have been linked a lot, for example, to the Browns at 6. The Rams, a team that figures to pick somewhere between 27 and 32, those type of teams, I could see them getting rid of a 27. Nobody else is. Like, there is no way the Dallas Cowboys are punting on the 27 draft. They've had too many injuries to quarterback. They're not punting on the 27 draft. So if the Cowboys are going to trade out of 12 and try to move up to 6 or 5, well, they wouldn't go to 5. The Giants aren't doing it. But even if they went all the way to 3 with the Cardinals, a 27 number 1 will not be involved. It'll be this year's draft. It'll be the 27-2. I don't think you'll see anything in the 27-1 unless you fancy yourself one of the 5 best teams in the league who's going to be picking at the bottom of the first round.
And that's what I was going to say. You said the Rams, maybe a team like the Chiefs, who don't expect to be back here again next year. They expect to be drafting at the end of the first round next year. Now, would the Chiefs do that with another pick this year? Who knows? But those kind of teams, you're right. And it's crazy because people keep saying, well, I'm going to need a 27 first rounder when they talk about these hypothetical trades. Well, you're crazy.
You're not getting one. No way. I think you're talking about at number 2 with the Jets. My hunch is that'll be Reese. Then I think at 3, you're then talking about Arizona at 3, right? You got Arizona at 3, and then at 4, you got Tennessee. Those are going to be the ones that you have to watch for right there. You got to handle those picks. And then from there, the Giants are in this catbird seat a little bit at 5 and 10, that's just pretty sweet. They're in a pretty sweet spot.
Yeah, I was wondering who's in the best position, just draft-wise. And it's, I think, between the Browns and the Giants. Because the Browns also have a lot of flexibility with, and this is strictly from here's what I think the Browns would like to do as an organization, knowing the Cleveland Browns organization, is sitting there at 6 and then having that pick at 24. The Giants are picking at 5 and 10. But for the Browns, I wonder if at 6, they haven't made up their minds yet, because I think the thing they'd want to do, Bake, is trade that, is move.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And
the more we get to it, the more I think, they're not picking at 6.
I feel like the longer we go here and the more we hear, I tend to agree that the Browns are trading back. And as much as I liked that last year, I don't love that this year. But it sure seems like that the Browns feel like they can get a wide receiver that they like at number 24. So I don't know if any of the offensive linemen that they want, I don't know if any of those offensive linemen that they would, I think 6 is too high for an offensive lineman, quite frankly. I think they can trade back. I get the feeling that Cleveland, it just seems like a Cleveland pick to me, Caden Proctor. And I don't love it, but huge, big offensive tackle. That seems like something they would fall in love with. So I do get the sense that we're going to see Cleveland trade back tonight.
But even if they don't get the offer that they're looking for to go out of 6, at 6 they've still got flexibility. So it's a good spot for them to be in, and I think they're very comfortable and probably thrilled with the options that they're presented tonight.
The player that I think most people think is going to be, there are 2 guys that I think most people would say conventional wisdom would be trade-up worthy. Love and Reese. Those are kind of the 2.
Love feels so wild.
It does, but more and more people keep coming around to, is he the surest thing? I know you guys have seen that too in a lot of these final top 150 players. Real quick, and remind me to get back to Mendoza on this. But the Jeremiah Love sure thing, this is a philosophical thing. If you're Tennessee, you have Cam Ward. You have a defensive-minded head coach. You bring in Brian Dable to run the offense. You have Cam Ward. Do you give him weapons? Do you give him help? Or do you say, we've got the quarterback, now we need the edge? Those are the things that to me is so fascinating. Robert Saleh is brand new there. They drafted their franchise quarterback number 1 overall a year ago. Is job 1 to protect him and to give him a chance to succeed? In which case, do you just say, blanket, we'll take the best receiver on this thing and give him a weapon? Or is the best weapon for a young quarterback, is it a run game? And so now you got Cam Ward, Jeremiah Love, you're building a new stadium. That's things you can put on the side of that new stadium. There's those factors too, guys, right? I mean, we're in business. You're in the business of the NFL.
Because the Titans with the Browns are opening up new stadiums.
Yeah.
And that kind of signage, like you've been mentioning a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, is extremely important, along with what the Titans have in a franchise quarterback, somebody else that can be the weapon for him. I would say, right? We're not having necessarily the exact Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell thing again, but this is pretty close.
It's so interesting with the Titans when you put it that way, because to me, if I'm going to pair a weapon with my quarterback, and I understand sometimes a running game can help a passing game more than anything. Yeah. But if I'm the Titans, and I think it's Carnell Tate, but whoever your number one receiver is, pick them at 4 and pair them, because I know he's getting a little older, but Tony Pollard has been pretty good for them in the running game on a really bad team the past couple of years. And
there's a lot of ways to help a quarterback, right, Bake?
For sure.
You know, you could do, I don't know, I mean, we don't cover Tennessee. I don't know what their offensive line situation is. From everything I'm hearing, there's not a tackle, and that's usually the only thing you take at 4 overall. There's not a tackle in this draft that's like, yep, sure thing, go. And the difference between the first tackle and the 10th isn't that big of a deal, according to most of the scouts that you hear talk about it. Now, NFL teams have their own opinions on these things. But that's what makes something like tonight so funny. And speaking of Mendoza, do we really believe, like I've seen this on multiple, including even Kuipers, that he's the number one best player in this draft? Even if you're positionally agnostic? Have you seen this? Like he's either number 1 or number 2 on all of them. Like it's been a fait accompli that he was going to the Raiders the entire time, so we haven't really talked about it. But is Fernando Mendoza Trevor Lawrence?
No. And I think the weight's just there because he's a quarterback and he's the Heisman Trophy winner. I think that's all that this has to do with. And the quarterback is always going to be the sexy position. And so for me, when I see that, I don't think anything of it. He's going. They need a quarterback. He fits the bill. He could be their franchise Heisman Trophy winner, national champion. Yeah. All of that is for you to put eyeballs on their draft stuff, because the number 1 pick has got to be the biggest thing that anybody talks about. Mm-hmm. And most of us that spend kind of every day in it, I ignore it. Yeah. Like, great. Yeah. You'll take him.
Yeah. I'd be very curious to see what it all transitions to. Obviously, we'll have most of our attention here on this program about what the Browns are going to do. That's helped by the fact that the Bengals no longer have a first-round pick. So all eyes will be up 71 North in Cleveland. 2 first-round picks. Where do they pick? Do they keep those picks? What are they looking for? We'll get to it in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice here. Do you need a vehicle that has room for the whole family? Then check out the 26 Chevrolet Traverse at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. This month, lease a brand new 26 Traverse for as low as $379 a month for 39 months for $3,998 due at signing for qualified buyers. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Deal ends April 30th, so don't wait. Visit McDaniel GM Superstore, located off 23095 in Marion, or online at McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
It always seems to happen at the worst time. You're finally in bed after a long, hard day, and then you hear it. You sit up, heart sinking. Is that coming from the ceiling? All of a sudden, it's a middle-of-the-night flashlight hunt to find the leak. But don't worry, Newman Roofing has you covered, literally. With more than 3 decades in the business, we've seen just about everything a storm can throw at a roof. Our teams know how to spot the problem, explain your options, and fix it right the first time, with craftsmanship and care you can feel good about. We're not just here for a quick patch job, and we never will be. We're here to make sure your home stays protected season after season. So when it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, choose the company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
College. A time to broaden the mind, question, learn. A time to challenge the status quo. And eat a ridiculous amount of pizza, which you can buy with your Huntington Bank debit card with the Ohio State University logo. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official consumer bank of the Ohio State University and the unofficial bank of pizza. Let's go Bucks! Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a Draft Day Thursday edition of the program. The Cleveland Browns picking at 6 and 24. All eyes on them as they really need to hit on both of these, quite honestly. They had a very good draft last year. I've been saying it for a while. Pick at number 6 needs to be side of the building guy because their roster is aging in terms of the star power on it. And that stadium opens in 29. And you got a couple of guys last year who feel like they could. It feels like Schlesinger's going to be a side of the building guy. I think if he can stay healthy, Q is a side of the building guy. Certainly Harold Fannin maybe could be, and maybe Mason Graham. A little bit of a slow in the rookie year, but maybe that continues to evolve, and he ends up being one of those. You got to stack them. That's what the good teams do. They stack them. There is very little question to me that knowing just the way that Andrew Berry thinks a little bit, he doesn't give you much, but knowing a little bit that ideally he would probably love to trade out of 6. I would not trade out of 6. I would stay at 6, and I would draft the best weapon on my board at 6. For me, that would be Carnell Tate. I know a lot of people like Jordan Tyson. Okay, fine. Maybe he's better. Maybe he's twitchier. Maybe he's Malik Neighbor. I don't know. God bless. But be convicted with a weapon at 6 would be my prescription for what ails them. Because I think if you are going to get to a point where you can be a contender and build towards being a contender in the AFC, you have to have people offensively that people have to account for and are fearful of. And right now, they don't have enough of those guys on this team. And so that's the way I would go with this. I think you can coach up offensive line. You could get an offensive lineman at 24 that's not that different than the offensive lineman you get at 6. Todd Monkin, minicamp going on up there. Yeah, they have a practice today as well. He was asked earlier this week if the minicamp at all changes the draft plans.
I would guess, irrespective of what happens here, because we're really in shorts, that we're already set in terms of what we're thinking for the draft. Maybe not complete, but ought to be damn close, at this point. So the bottom line is this just happens to get us a little bit of a preview on what we have and really get the system and the foundation set.
It's going to be a brand new offensive line up there regardless of what happens tonight. No Batonio, no Teller. Obviously, Conklin is gone. They need DeJuan Jones to be healthy and be available. That would be a big part of it, but they've obviously added in free agency and ability to field an offensive line. Todd Monkin was asked about his offensive line. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I feel really good about the linemen that we've signed. Obviously, Eldon's coming back from an injury, so that's a part of it. But getting Titus, also getting Zion, and then we'll see what happens in the draft. I like the guys that we had coming back. There's some young guys that you like, some depth there. So, again, it's the first day. Probably the hardest to gauge is the line without the shoulder pads on and some of your skill guys' physicality. But, again, I'm excited about what we have and what we're going to add to the room.
All right, I'm going to give a scenario for you. Caleb Downs is on the board. Carnell Tate is on the board. The Dallas Cowboys call and say, we'll give you 12 and 20, and you got to give us something back, maybe a third, for 6. So you'd be picking 12, 20, and 24. You're giving up 6. You're giving up the opportunity to draft Caleb Downs and Carnell Tate.
No.
You're Andrew Berry. Do you take the call?
He does, yes, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt he takes the call and he does it. I would not.
So I'm now the general manager of the Cleveland Browns. Congratulations and apologies. I'm not moving out of 6 unless I get a 1 in 27. Is where I would sit on it because I think the needs can be addressed so easily with 6. It just seems like the surest way to win this draft is to get the best available playmaker at 6. And
so
that keeps.
Let me see. Let's play around with that, Reese.
I don't have a guarantee I can get at 12 what I can get at 6.
All right. Rams call. Rams give you 13. Caleb's on the board. Carnell's on the board. Rams are giving you 13 in their next year's 1 to go to 6. So
I don't hate that.
You're picking 13 and 24, so you'll still have 2 1s. You'll have 2, and then with that one, you're going to have to give up your 2 this year. You're going to have to give up 37 at that point, probably. So now you're talking 13. Next year's one from the Rams to get out of 6, and now you're picking at 13 and 24 this year, and you have 2 ones next year. One of them will hopefully they'll both be in the teens, and the Rams one will be in the 30s, most likely, unless Stafford gets hurt, and then maybe you hit the lottery. But which one is more appealing, the Cowboys option or the Rams?
Rams.
Bake?
Man, that's so tough because so last year I thought your Jacksonville pick would be high. I thought it would be in the top 10 this year. I never thought it was going to be 24. So could the Rams pick next year be really good? Yeah, but I think you're going to be picking in the late 20s at minimum next year because I think this Rams team is going to be pretty good. And I don't know if that moves the needle next year. I know next year's draft is really good, but I think if you want to pick in that draft, it's going to be higher. So I think in the scenario, and you mentioned because it's next year, you're probably giving up more. I think in the scenario, if I'm going to take one, I would take the Cowboys and have 3 first-round picks this year.
And then you're in a situation where now you're really letting the board come to you. Like if you do the Cowboys pick and the board comes to you, I don't think there's any chance that Tyson or I don't think Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate, either one is there at 12 if you do the Cowboys pick. So now you're probably talking a tackle at 12. At 20, you're probably talking at that point, that could be receiver. Especially
if there's Mekhi Lemon?
Maybe. You might get honestly, what they need is probably more Denzel Boston.
That's what I was thinking.
Also fine.
Just because they need an outside guy.
Omar Cooper at 20, maybe. That would be good.
So Omar Cooper at 20, and then at 24, maybe there you go, Avion Terrell out of Clemson, and you get a corner because they need one of those too. So maybe, is that more appealing than Carnell Tate and fill in the blank tackle at 24? You get 3.
Are we sure at 6 in our scenario, and you're taking Carnell Tate or Caleb Downs, are we sure they're taking Carnell Tate?
I'm not. I don't know. Look, guys, there's a lot of times that there are things, we call them scores, right? Pay attention to the scores when it comes to the Browns because I'm pretty locked into what is going on there, obviously. That's not the case with the draft. Guys, last year at this time, Andrew Berry kept the trade with the Jaguars that was consummated 2 weeks prior and agreed to secret for 2 weeks. Nobody had a clue. That deal was done for 2 weeks for Travis Hunter. And it was silence. Absolute silence. So I don't know what they think of Carnell Tate. I don't know what they think of Jordan Tyson. I know what I think of Carnell Tate. To me, the worst case scenario for Carnell Tate is he's T. Higgins.
Great.
That to me is the worst case. I think he's a really safe pick. I do think, though, that when you are a general manager and you draft quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, DNs, corners, the easy positions to evaluate for the common fan, it's a much bigger hit if you miss on them for your reputation than if you miss on a defensive tackle, than if you miss on a guard or a tackle. It's just there's a bigger price to pay because it's so noticeable. You can miss on a left tackle, nobody even notices. I mean, they did with Jed Wills. I mean, he didn't.
Yep.
And Joe Thomas I remember talking to Joe Thomas about Jed Wills, loved him. Absolutely loved him. What none of us realized about Jed Wills, though, is he didn't really love football. It wasn't the most important thing for him. So how do you know that? Because everyone's saying the right things through the process. You didn't know how he would respond to all that comes with being the 10th pick in the draft. And he didn't respond well to it. But you rarely hear that one brought up the way that you hear Johnny brought up or all the rest of them brought up. Because it's not as easy to evaluate the miss.
When you talk evaluations, for me, why Carnell makes the most sense. You throw him the ball, he catches it. You can better evaluate your quarterbacks with playmakers like him. And the number one thing right now for the Cleveland Browns is evaluating the quarterbacks. Everything else falls in line after that. And so if you can get a playmaker, if T. Higgins is the floor, How much better are you evaluating your quarterbacks with that kind of a playmaker than you are Jerry Jeudy and the also-rans?
I agree with Carnell, and it's a position of need. I just keep going back to, in this scenario, if Caleb Downs is on the board, like, I feel like he's the best football player in this draft. And if you can get the best football player at 6, I don't know how you don't do that. And also, Grant Delpit and Ronnie Hickman, I believe, are only under contract through this next year.
Well, and you could play Delpit with Caleb.
1,000%.
And obviously Caleb would be an upgrade over Rocket Hickman, who's great, but I mean he'd be a considerable upgrade for him. If Caleb Downs is 90% of Troy Polamalu, let's go. Like, don't even just sprint to it.
And I understand that gives you problems because then you still need to address your wide receiver position. But I just think if you can get the best player in the draft at number 6, I don't know how you can't do that.
That's the job. That's why Andrew Barry gets paid the big bucks. That is the job, is how do you kind of, and that's why they are, for better or worse, and it's a little different up there. Paul DePodesta is not there anymore with kind of overseeing it and some of the influences he had. So in this instance, your process, you have to rely on that and you have to trust it. That's where trust the process comes from. We've done the work. This is what the work spit out. This is what we're going to do at 6, and they're on the clock. It's going to be a very, very big night for them. Take a quick break from this, but keep you updated if anything starts to trickle in terms of the NFL. A big night last night. We will get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Columbus, get a new Ford with special financing for everyone at Capital Ford of Columbus. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining 2025 Ford Escapes in stock. We have options for all. Deals end April 30th. Visit CapitalFordofColumbus.com now.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turns, skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
It's 2026, the year you achieve your health goals. The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
Grab me a new cross-match bingo from the Ohio Lottery.
Sure thing. You said match bingo cross?
No, the newest $10 scratch-off with prizes up to $500,000.
Yeah.
The ticket's so big, it's only sold at retail counters? The one with over $15 million in prizes? Cross-match bingo.
One cross bingo match coming up.
However you say it, cross-match bingo combines cash word, bingo, and match games all into one for even more fun. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Hey, it's Austin Ward with a unique opportunity for you. The chance to drop 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180. Fast results, sustainable results, medication-free, and free support for life. 40 by the 4th. This is your year. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Kerr Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Kerr, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you'd want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Kerr is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Kerr Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Have you ever met a man who wins money betting on tennis? Enter Scotty Vegas. Join Scotty and Dave Biddle for On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Sunday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
Thousands of students every year choose Columbus State Community College, earning degrees that open doors to in-demand jobs, stable careers, and real earning power. Columbus State is making Central Ohio stronger. Apply today at cscc.edu.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpractice your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, I'll go behind the curtain with you guys. If you're watching on the stream, in the 9:20 segment, you saw we motioned to Reese and Bake that I needed to grab a little stretch. We're in the middle of the segment, right? So here's the scenario I'm dealing with. Today, and this one's on me. I can't even pass the blame. Today, routine septic check. We're on septic, so we're septic tank check. You do it every year. By the way, if you ever are on one of these and don't know about it, whatever they tell you to do, you just do it, because you don't want to mess with it going south. So routines, my wife, I'm sure she told me about it. The attack dog, Buddy Garrity, was roaming outside, as he tends to do. Now, he is an 80-pound golden retriever. To me, not threatening at all. But he's got a loud bark. It's a very loud bark. And so he was out roaming. We're 4 minutes into an 11-minute segment, and I look out and I see septic guy standing on the back of his truck and Buddy Garrity kind of sort of cornering him and barking. So I can't, we got 5 minutes left in the segment. I can't let this poor guy be cornered for the next 5 minutes. So you make the executive decision. If you're listening on the radio, you didn't know anything until now. But if you're watching on the stream, as so many of you do, you're going, well, what the hell, BOGO? Well, that's where I went. So give a little whistle, get over here, come on. Now, I can't, he's doing the right things like you'd want him to do.
It's a good job out of him.
It is. It's a bad job out of me. I failed him.
Well, so does this continue with your significant other not knowing the show starts until, or thinking the show starts at 10, because that would be scheduled in the 9 o'clock hour?
Reese, as you know, if I can find a way to blame her, I will. I don't think I can find a way here.
Did you schedule this?
I think it's on me. No, she scheduled it. Honestly, it was probably just a regular thing that they show up once a year and they do it, and that's just part of the service that we do. But she did tell me that they were going to be here, and so it's probably falls directly on my shoulder. I'd love to pass the blame on, but it's really on me. I should have had him in at that time. But this is the time that he flourishes. This is the time. We got the invisible fence.
It's gorgeous outside.
It's
like, this
beautiful.
is when you let him run.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's 3 acres. He's got an electric fence. He runs amok. He chases his squirrels and chipmunks. Once he was a murder dog and killed a bunny, but other than that, it's pretty non-eventful. Keeps the birds off the property. No geese, none of that. That's a win. So this is the time where he thrives. This is his morning walk, as it were. And it was on me because, I'm doing this. And so I didn't remember all of the other things. So that's why that happened. So he came in. It's funny, like when I whistled, I'm like, get over here. He thought he had done something wrong, so he kind of slunk to the door. And I'm like, there's no slunking. You're fine. It's on Dad. Dad blew it. So we get him down, get him a little treat. He's like Bootsy in that regard. No matter what's going on, you get him a treat and he's fine. That's the way that goes. We got the baseball last night. We got the NBA playoffs that are ongoing. My wife said, well, why aren't the Cavs playing tonight? And I'm like, honey, this thing they spread out for 2 weeks. When do they even play again?
So they're actually tonight.
Tonight, okay.
Taking on the Raptors at 8 o'clock. This is perfect for me because I can have the Cavs on and the draft in the background because really all the draft is just cards being read. Like for me, the watching the draft and hearing the noise, that does nothing for me.
Really? Like you won't be, you're not locked in that first 10 picks?
By locked in, I'll have it on because I expect the Browns to trade out of 6. So this for me is just like, let's get this over with. And then I've got, Browns draft shot, Cavs, Raptors, game 3 chaser.
I got you. Bake, what's your plan tonight?
I think I'm going to be pretty locked into the draft for the first 10 picks or so. And then if the Browns trade back to 12 or 13 or wherever, I will probably be locked in until then. But definitely I want to see where these Buckeyes go. I don't know. It's intriguing to me, all the places they could end up.
It will be cool because they're all going to be there. And so when their names get called, they get to walk out and dap up the commissioner. Like that is for so many players such a cool moment for them and their families to share. And because we kind of grew up with them as well through their football journey, you do feel a little bit like a proud parent. And we'll have their proudest parent on at 10.
We will. Yeah, he's going to be on in 8 minutes. But with Threes joining us, I mean, I think about I don't live in Pickerington, obviously, but I just think of like the first time I heard of Sonny Styles. He might have been an 8th grader. Freshman? Something like that. I mean, he was a young kid when you first became aware, that he was different and that he was special. And so, there's that connective tissue to it that and my hunch is, and we'll get into kind of how we kind of think the real truth is going to be on these Buckeye picks coming up at 11:20. Couple on social in regard to the draft tonight. Snags with this one. The scenario of taking Downs at 6, you address a wide receiver by trading Dillon and a 3rd to Arizona for the route man. I think it would take more than that to get the route man.
Not Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a little bit more than that.
We're okay with 39, right, in that scenario?
Yeah, I would do that in a second.
That's a huge win.
Yeah. Would they, though?
If you take Downs at 6, you get the tackle at 24, you get an offensive lineman at 24, and then your 39 or 37, wherever they pick in the second round, is somehow Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm in. And by the way, if you're Arizona, you should do that too, especially if you're in full tank mode.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that. But I think I'd have to know that the route man was en route to Cleveland before seeing the rest of that shakeout. Although Downs to 6 would not ruin my evening.
No, you'd be pretty happy.
Because that's a decade captain of your defense. That's a guy you can put on the side of the Browns' new stadium.
Look, when Sonny Weaver Jr. took Vontae Mack number 1, he didn't know he was getting his picks back.
Haven't seen that movie. Will not watch that movie.
You haven't seen it?
No. Nope.
You should watch it as soon as the show's over today.
I'm not going to do that.
It's a pretty...
I'll see Top Gun the second one before I see Draft Today.
Are you going to see the Top Gun the second one, which is great? Are you going to see that before the third one comes out? You still haven't seen that?
So I have a long con with Top Gun the second one. I can't explain it because that's not what the long con is, but I'll be prepared.
All right. Draft days. It was on last night. It was on one of the channels.
I don't
just
need
on a
Kevin
loop.
Costner patronizing me for decades of ineptitude by an organization that I love.
You lived up there for a little while, though, so I think that you would find it interesting, like the places that they shot. There's some geography stuff that makes no sense at all in terms of just him driving around. That makes no sense, and so it's kind of an unintentional. There's a little bit of unintentional comedy on that one that probably wins. All right, coming up in 5 minutes, Threes. He's going to have 2 in the top 10. Very likely he will. When did you know they were special? We'll ask him coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Colin Man here for Weed Man. I talk to you about Weed Man every year. Why? Simple. Number one, I use it. Number two, it works. You want to get those lawn roots thick, baby, because when that happens, they resist weeds, disease, and insects, and they're using top-of-the-line stuff. We're talking golf course quality. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will take care of you. Proudly serving Central Ohio and our Dayton friends. Call your local office, 614-733-3747, weedman.com.
With the first pick of my favorite places in Columbus, I choose Hollywood Casino Columbus. The draft is coming up. 4 in the top 10. Oh, man, is this draft going to be fun. So much fun, we need to throw a party. Scotty Vegas here, and come to the sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus on Thursday, April 23rd for the draft. We're going to have contests, prizes, and best bets. See you at 7 on Thursday, April 23rd. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-589-9966.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code FUEL for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FUEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's FUEL.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Colin Man here for Germain Volkswagen. Right now, you get $3,000 over Kelly Blue Book on your trade during the Germain Trade and Upgrade Sales Event at both Germain Volkswagen of Columbus and Germain Volkswagen of Westerville. Plus, during Volkswagen Driver Days, interest rates can't get any lower on the 2026 Volkswagen Atlas and the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan. Available to qualified customers on approved credit through Volkswagen Financial Services. See dealer for full details. Get started now at GermainVolkswagen.com.
Parents, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're listening.
Yeah. Are your teens good with money?
She's a good kid.
She's the
but
best,
yeah.
I get it. Switch to Huntington Bank, and your teen debit card can really help.
Oh?
You can set spending limits, and your kid can track budgets, so they learn that money doesn't, in fact, grow on trees.
I think we need this.
Sounds good, yeah. We feel you, parents. Let's get more from teen banking. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Ready to make it rain on the court for a great cause? It's the 3v3 Hoops Tournament at Ohio State University RPAC. Saturday, May 2nd from 12 to 4. Hosted by NBA legend Kenny Anderson. Grab your 3 and let's see who the best trio in Columbus. For your shot at a share of $10,000 in cash. Register now at classicforcolumbus.com. That's classicforcolumbus.com.
Presented by the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, Office of Economic Engagement and Community Development, and America 250 Ohio.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Las Vegas Raiders have the number 1 pick as the 2026 NFL Draft begins tonight in Pittsburgh. The Cleveland Browns can select at 6 and 24. 4 Buckeyes are expected to go in the top 10. That would tie a record by most from a single school. 2 of those are linebackers, Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles. Their coach at Ohio State, James Laurinaitis, will join Bo Bishop in moments. You can hear the first round of the NFL Draft on The Fan tonight following the Buckeye Show. In baseball, both the Reds and Guardians are off Thursday. Both Ohio teams have a half-game lead in their respective divisions. Cincinnati welcomes Detroit for a weekend series starting Friday. Cleveland heads to Toronto tomorrow to take on the Blue Jays. The Cleveland Cavaliers are also in Toronto. Cavs will play the Raptors tonight at 7 in Game 3 of their first-round NBA playoff series. Cleveland leads the best of 7, 2 games to none. Raptors will host Game 4 on Sunday. This update is sponsored by Highbank Distillery Co., locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation. Dine, drink, distill at Highbank.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time to head out on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. How do you even begin to introduce threes? Dad of 4 lovely children, husband, Hall of Famer.
Surviving. Four lovely children. Surviving.
That's the best way?
Seriously surviving. Seriously surviving. I mean, holy smoke. She sent me a photo this morning of the 3 girls at the bus stop. I mean, the hands above the head, hip hop out of my 5-year-old. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Just well, you got your hand. God bless her. God bless her, brother. It's how you live in threes. You're surviving. That's what you're doing right now, buddy. That's all you're doing. You're knee deep in the muck.
I'll tell you what, the Bishop and Lauronitis little playback was way better than Bishop and Friends, I must say. But it's all right.
That's all right.
I'm biased.
That's good. Fair enough. Hey, since you left, because we were paying you such an exorbitant salary, we've been able to really bump up the MIT kids. And so we have a full staff of MIT kids now. When you and I were doing it, we had like 1 or 2 guys. Now we got like a whole team of them because your salary's off the books. And so we were able to kind of spread that around to research.
Just use AI. What are you guys doing?
I guess probably good. Don't tell the bosses that. Don't tell the bosses that, Coach. But we put the MIT kids to at threes. We could not find a scenario where 2 linebackers from the same school, and we went all the way back as far as there were records to be able to be kept, and we didn't go all the way back to the early 1900s. But 2 linebackers from the same school in the top 10. That's pretty good, buddy. We couldn't find an example of it.
It'd be pretty wild. I'm praying it happens tonight for those guys. As you know, Bo, the draft is crazy. You know what I mean? And there is good reason why most of these teams, not all, but why certain teams pick up near this spot over and over and over. And I think what's interesting, and as you know, is that you really have to figure out, like, what makes sense sometimes does not match up with the team and who is really making the final call. And I think that's what all of us try to figure out when you're like a draftnik, right? Or you're trying to like break down the draft. And so it'll be really interesting to kind of see how this thing plays out as each team picks. But I think both of them, I hope anyway, go in the top 10 tonight.
It would seem to be silly if they didn't. Let's go one by one in terms of just because both these guys were a little bit nebulous in their process. I mean, Sonny came in here a year early. Was he a safety? Do you try to make him a D end? When you saw him, and you and I have talked about this a lot, and you've talked about it here on the air. When you saw him, you were like, no, you're a linebacker. And that took a little convincing, didn't it?
It did. You saw this massive human, and I had just come from Notre Dame where you saw film of Kyle Hamilton because he was there the year before I got there. And so I saw like tape of what Kyle looked like. Kyle had come back. Like I saw his frame. And then when I got here and I saw Sonny Styles, I was like, wait a second. Like he's way more muscular and defined. And you saw him at 220 pounds, 222, trying to play safety. He was playing nickel for us. He was like, we were using him all over the field. He was really a Sam linebacker. We were just calling him a nickel to, make him feel better that he was still a DB. But ultimately it was like, when we went to our base package, he was a Sam on the ball. And I was like, why can't we just get like a few cheeseburgers? I remember instantly telling him, like, we would joke with him all the time and be like, just have a couple burgers, bro. Like, stop at the salads, have a couple burgers, protein shakes, move your way into the box. And I remember saying, like, if you do, you'll go in the first round because there was a safety body type who I felt was physical enough to do it. And the way he would play with his hands, the way that he could understand route concepts, coverage checks, all we would have to work on was his footwork and then block destruction that tight in the box. And sure, there's a little risk on the block destruction part, the footwork, but I also know what Sonny's about. And so the day that it happened where we decided, like, yeah, he's going to backer, I mean, we were out there on the field. You're getting after it. Like, hey, coach, what drill's going to do? Boom, do these. And I knew that he was going to do 2 a day, so he figured it out. And so, like, when you have that kind of kid who's obsessed with being great, I knew it was going to be an easy transition for him.
The team that drafts him tonight is getting what? How would you deploy him in the National Football League?
They're getting a 12-year face of your franchise kid who's going to wear the green dot. He's going to be at every one of your team's charity events, not just his. He's going to be at every teammate's. He's going to be a captain for you. He's going to be a leader in the community. Like, everyone says there's no such thing as a can't miss. I saw someone write it. There's no such thing as a can't miss, but Sonny's a can't miss. Like, I firmly believe it. And the exciting thing for Sonny's future is that he's only played linebacker 2 seasons. So if you look at the way he played when we won the national championship and how he got better through that season, and then the difference in the way that he used his hands this year. I mean, if you want to watch the Indiana game over again, there are multiple plays that Sonny makes that if he doesn't make the play, I mean, they're rushing the ball for, over 200 yards on us. You know what I mean? It's incredible. If he doesn't get off the block, make the tackle. And he really played, I felt like the stretch of up north to Indiana, like he played like a grown man down the stretch. And he also has the ability, like if we needed him to play the position that Arvell played for us this year because we had a different body type, at the other linebacker, then he could have done all that too. Like he honestly is a kid that you could play him all over the field. And I think that his best ball is still ahead of him.
Yeah, and kind of built for the modern NFL because obviously with that speed and athleticism, he can do tight ends, he can drop, he can do all of those things depending on what it is. Arvell's a little bit of a different one, Bud. I remember you going, wait till you get a load of this kid. And I was like, okay, Glenville kid, like let's see what this is all about. And then I had a gimmick this year where it was Arvell Reese's number 8. Just so everyone's aware. And he made people aware abundantly clear. When did you realize that he was built a little bit different? And what do you recall about the process of him and you partnering up to get him to this point where he could end up number 2 overall tonight?
I thought summer workouts when he first got here, but remember, Velli didn't come early. He didn't get here in winter or the spring ball in recruitment. He didn't come till summer. And so, you do these summer workouts, and to see him move, shuffle, maneuver through bags was a perfect no. He was raw as heck, but he could frickin' run. And I'm like, 6'4", can run like that, can move, shuffled with power. Like, some kids can shuffle, but they're like, he was gaining ground, and the change of direction was so smooth. I was like, man, if we ever figure this thing out with him, he's a first rounder. And so, no, there's a lot of work that goes into that. Like, you aren't just getting – there's a lot of 6'4" humans that can move pretty well that aren't getting drafted in the first round, right? Like, there's a lot of work that goes into that. And credit to Arvell for the growth and being coachable. And, you try to strategically put him around guys like, he got to be in a room with Tommy and with Cody and then with Sonny. Like, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of work that goes into that. But he just naturally moved in the way he was built and the way that he naturally just struck humans. Like, his violence with his hands, we were like, holy smokes, like, we gotta get this going. And the crazy thing about Arvell that I keep seeing, like, everyone's talking about, like, if you want him to play on the edge 100% of the time, he'll be elite. If you want to draft him and have him play just off the ball backer, he'll be elite. Like, to me, he's worthy of a top 10 pick playing off the ball traditional linebacker. So, like, the whole, like, 3-4, can he do this, that, whatever? I'm like, in the same way, he's a weapon. He can do either in my eyes, and be totally worth it. And so either guy, you're getting truly like a weapon. If you actually watch the tape, like there's snaps where Arvell's off the ball to the field. Hey, you want to reroute and control the field? Sure. Do some of that. You want to put him in the boundary? Sure. You want to put him off the ball and stacked? Yes. Where do you want him? In the same way with Sonny. Like, hey, you want to take care of this guy out here and play some version of quarters and reroute the slot and make sure he can cover 2 back across the ball? Yeah, Sonny can do that. So can Bell. And it's like to have the blessings of those 2 guys was – I think really fun for Matt Patricia to play with this year.
Well, you had a third in that triumvirate and another guy who, I think there's going to be 4 of them in the top 10 in Caleb Downs. He wasn't in your room, but obviously you're very well of what he's capable of. How many times in film did you guys as coaches just go, my God, how lucky are we have these 3?
I mean, you look back, a lot of that's in reflection because you're so in the moment, you're so focused on how could we continue to elevate their games and how can you continue to use them in ways that help the Buckeyes win, And so it's like, hey, okay, so where do you want to put 2? Where do you want to put 8? Where do you want to put 0? And when you have those guys, I mean, you're lucky if you have one of them, and a lot of it was like, hey, where do we want 2 to affect the pass game, but also in the run? So you got creative on a lot of your scheme on how you're going to deploy the weapons, how you're going to, put certain guys but you got to do it and make it simple for the kids. So you might have a certain pressures or certain looks and people are just moving spots. And so I think that's what Matt does a really good job of is there's conceptual teaching where you're not just learning one, letter of the playbook, you're learning the concept. Here's what we're trying to get done on this defense so that I can put you at, whether it says LB, here or LB over there, or if it says safety here, because all it takes is for us to be in a different package and not be a nickel with 2 backers. And now you're in dime and now one of those backers is a safety body. Okay. So do you know the concept or you just know the playbook, the S? And I think when you have really smart players like those 3 words who are pros, then you can be able to mismatch where they are. Who's the Mike of this play? Who's the Will of this play? I mean, we used to do it all the time on 3rd down. I mean, you'd have technically a Mac and a Buck and a Money, and those 3 were those 3 positions. Okay, well, Sonny Arvell, you guys can flip it mid-series if you want because they're smart enough to do it. If you have guys that can handle it, go ahead, flip it. That way the team can't always bank on Belly coming or Sonny coming. Put the tools in your hands, which is very much NFL-like, right? Like, hey, here are the list of stunts to use. You're out there playing, control it. And that's what we did with Sonny, and that's what we did with Caleb and Arvell.
Certainly remember how big of a fan you were of the draft as a kid and how you would lock in, you order the pizzas and all of that. You've lived this yourself.
Large Papa John's. I'd eat the whole thing wearing purple sweats like a Randy Moss jersey, the Viking headdress. Have you ever seen the fans with the 2 horns out and like the Goldilocks coming down? Wore it. All right. So it's a large Papa John's pepperoni. All right. And I'm dipping every ounce of crust in that garlic butter sauce. What are we talking about?
You're winning.
That's a win. If I did that now, I'm not burning it off for 3.5 months. But back then, it was a dream.
It was a dream, brother. You lived this in your own with the draft. Where is what are you feeling tonight going into this draft with these are your guys? What's going on in your head with all of this?
Just extremely proud of the work they put in, to be honest. My favorite part is they were easy to coach. They're great people. I want them to go to great situations, Bo. I'm not so concerned about the number. Yeah. And I'm not going to get into specifics. That's for you and I to have a conversation first Friday or something. But it's, I want them to go to situations where they are set up to thrive. And the NFL draft, for how beautiful it is, how do you measure success of these kids? And everyone gets labeled bust, but it's like, what situation did they go to? Did they go to a scheme that actually fit them? It happens at running back all the time. You could be Jeremiah Love tonight. Guess what? Jeremiah Love goes to a really good offensive line and he goes out and balls out and has 1,500 yards. I'm like, oh, great pick. He goes behind an O-line that's a bunch of bums and gets no yards and gets beat up. And I was like, oh, we wasted that pick. Well, did you? Or is it the situation? Yeah. So, there's so many, and that's why the draft's beautiful. I mean, you can look at this thing over and over and over and over. I've always loved it. But I'm honestly, it's just like, I really want good situations and being on this side of it now too, like you have an idea of the coaches that they're going to play for as well. Selfishly, I would love if one of my guys slid to like my man Spags, but all of it, right? Like there's so many different things. I'm honestly just happy for the kids. But you want them to go to the really good situations to where they can have really good careers. Like it's bigger than just like when you come to Ohio State, right? And we try to tell kids this, but when you come to Ohio State, yes, the developed here isn't just getting to the NFL. It's sustaining in the NFL. It's sustaining in the NFL. Sure, get to the NFL. But the whole thing is we're trying to set you up for a long NFL career to where you get vested, which means 5 years health insurance after you retire, which means all those different accounts that they set up for you, right, that are very real. Can we get all of that for you? Can we get the second contract? Can we get the third contract? You know what I mean? It's not just the first. That's the starting point. So I try to tell these guys that, like, this is just the beginning. And then it's like, go compete and go be elite. But, like, this is not the end of it. This is just part of the journey for them. And that's got to be the big reality with them, is that it's not just developed here to get you there. No, it's to stay there. That's why hopefully when you come and you play linebacker here, right, like when Arvell Reese was a true freshman, he can look around the room and be like, dang, like Tommy sees it really fast. How am I going to see it that fast ever? And, you know, gosh, look at Cody Simon and how he studies. And then those two are in, you know, with the Raiders and the Cardinals. And then all of a sudden these two getting drafted tonight, and Sonny and Arvell, it's like, okay, that's being in a room like that is expected. Like, I have to go perform, or somebody underneath me, younger or whatever, is going to chomp for reps. And then they're going to, it's the same thing. So guess what? When I go to the NFL, and now it's really big money and it's really high pressure, it doesn't feel like it. So I've been feeling pressure since Ohio State. And so you hope that they're better situated for an 8, 10, 12-year career. And so I'm excited to see this. Where does that go? What teams are those? And then following them as they start their journey.
You're the best, buddy. Enjoy it tonight. Thank you for your time.
Anytime, brother. You know that.
All right, pal. There he goes. Three's best linebacker coach in all of America. He will be in Pittsburgh tonight, as he will have 2, I think, top 10 picks in this draft. We'll go over what we think are the best landing spots for these Buckeyes coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly. Hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The heat is on its way, and my AC's not brand new. How can I make sure it cools like it's supposed to?
I recommend a tune-up to you and every caller. Experience true comfort for $53.
Get an AC tune-up for $53.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Grilling season starts now at Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks, or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, a new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Columbus, get a new floor with special financing for everyone at Capital Ford of Columbus. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining 2025 Ford Escapes in stock. We have options for all. Deals end April 30th. Visit CapitalFordofColumbus.com now.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, energy bills have been crazy as of late, which has had our phone ringing off the hook. Pella Windows give you both a home makeover and often an energy bill makeover.
We hear that all the time at the other window place. We love the makeover. No, wait. We want a do-over. That's what they say. Is do-over and makeover the same thing?
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results, and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Think you know Buckeye football? These two say, hold my beer. The Beat with Austin and Berm.
Sponsored by The Waterworks.
Daily on The Fan's YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles.
I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
As speech pathologists, it's our privilege to help students develop their communication skills. However, the increased caseloads and responsibilities began to negatively impact the student's experience. With the help of my association, I was able to communicate these concerns to our district leaders, which directly led to the hiring of more speech pathologists to serve our kids. Now they're benefiting from smaller group sizes and are able to reach their goals quicker. My name is Morgan Gomez, and I'm a proud member of the Springboro Education Association because strong unions make strong public schools for our students.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise mostly sunny skies and temperatures in the low 80s. For tonight, partly cloudy with our overnight lows in the mid to upper 50s. And then for Friday, we do have a mostly sunny day and warm and breezy with highs in the mid to low 80s. We still have a lingering chance of showers and storms developing in the afternoon and evening. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is. We're proudly brought to you and sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. Mr. Finebaum coming up in 8 minutes from now. Great stuff with threes. He said something there that's really important, and it's because he's lived the life that he's had and has the experience that he has that he can say what he said, which is it's not so much where they go, or it's not so much when they go, but where. He wants his guys in good spots. If you were to let's play a little game. I'll give you guys a Buckeye. You tell me, and I'll play along as well. What's your best spot for them? Let's start with Arvell Reese, who most people think will be the first Buckeye off the board. Where do you want Arvell Reese to go?
I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. And I think that is for his development and his career. He gets a year in the NFL to just learn how to play whichever position they think he's best suited at with no expectations to win.
I think Tennessee's the spot for him. With Robert Saleh, he can grow with a defensive-minded head coach. If I had one of those draft spots up at the top that I would want him to be at, it's Tennessee.
I'm with you, Bake. And I like Reese's too. And if it was between Arizona and the Jets, I'm with Reese. Just quality of life. I mean, I'd rather live out there. But because I think the Jets are headed for a massive restart. I mean, I think Arizona at least got a coach that's going to be there for a while. My hunch is that the Jets start completely over next year, and then does that guy like you, so forth, so on. So I like Arvell to Tennessee. I like the Bob Saleh part of that in terms of putting in a position to succeed. And Nashville's a great place. So I'm with you. If it's anybody, I go Tennessee for Arvell. Caleb Downs, Bake, who do you got?
I think the New York Giants is a perfect fit. I think Harbaugh will know how to use him. I think that New York Giants defense also has pieces on it, like Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau and even Javon Holland back there in the secondary. I feel like those are guys that are downhill players that are good when they're on the attack, and Caleb Downs will just free them up to go do what they do best. I think Caleb Downs and the New York Giants are a match made in heaven.
Same.
Hard to argue with that. I think that's a home run. Tim May and I were texting in the first hour of the show a little bit, and I think Caleb I could see him with Jera somehow, some way, with the Cowboys somehow going and getting him and putting on the back end of that defense. That would track to me in a big way, too. But I think Giants at 5. Go ahead, Vic.
I mean, he would look good in a number 2 with the star on it. It would look good.
Yes, he would.
As much as I hate that.
Yeah. But I'm with you guys. I think Giants for him. All right, Sonny Styles, Reese. Where do you want? What's ideal for Sonny?
Also, the New York Giants.
So I think the Washington Commanders and Dan Quinn would be perfect for Sonny Styles. I know they run a 3-4 defense, and he's never really played in a 3-4 type defense, but I think he would be fabulous in the middle of that. And I think Dan Quinn is hoping that happens.
I could make an argument for Sonny in Tennessee at 4 with Robert Saleh, put a green dot on him, build everything. Think about Fred Warner in Saleh's in Saleh's defense, rather, in San Francisco. Couldn't that be perfect for Sonny?
Yeah.
So, I could see him there and really, really thriving and basically being the face of the defense the way that Cam Ward is the face of the offense. I could make an argument for the Giants at 5. I mean, think of their linebacker lineage and think about the stability they now have with John Harbaugh. I mean, that's all of it. Washington is a no-brainer, too. I think you're right. I think they're praying that he gets there at 7. You heard what 3 said. You're getting a green dot for future captain, put him on the side of the building. He's going to go to not only all of the team charity stuff, he's going to go to his teammates' charity stuff. That's who Sonny Styles is. That is a foundational guy. That's opposite Jaden Daniels, and let's go. Going to build a new stadium. You can talk me into any 3 of those spots for Sonny. That all would make all the sense in the world. And by the way, with Caleb and Sonny, you could talk me into the Browns for both of them. I think that those are guys, you build that new stadium in Brook Park and you got to put people on the side. Both of those guys can go on the side and you don't have to worry about it. Sonny and Carson Schlesinger at linebacker would be terrifying.
Oh, boy.
To try. The amount of space those 2 guys could cover would be absolutely terrifying. You could talk me into that. Carnell Tate.
So, for me, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. You put him with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and let's go.
Yeah. I was also going to say Tennessee. Even Washington, I think, would be a good spot.
Or Giants.
Yeah.
If you like
Jackson Dart.
If you like Jackson Dart, even Giants. Selfishly, if he's not in orange and brown tonight, I'll be very, very disappointed. Like, that's where I want him to be. But those other situations are just a little bit further along in their offensive development. Where in Cleveland, he would have to be the one receiver now. I mean, he's got to be the number 1 receiver out of the gates.
Patrick Mahomes waddles out there the first month of the season, and there's Carnell Tate waiting for him.
Yeah. That I think is the Kansas City one is. I likened this yesterday. If Carnell Tate goes to Kansas City, that's Michael Thomas going to the Saints with Drew Brees. Like, that was what Threes was talking about the best place versus when you're drafted. That would be that for Carnell Tate. Like, all of a sudden you're on the other side of Patrick Mahomes, that wins. And then Caden McDonald, who, we're going to have 5 1s. To me, Philly would be a pretty sweet spot for him in that middle of that first round there. And they've had some defections on the defensive line. They probably don't need defensive tackle necessarily. Buffalo, he's going to be in a winning operation. Could be San Francisco, too, at 27.
Yeah, I really like the Philadelphia pick. I know the Chiefs might not, but you're winning right away.
Yeah.
So, Bo, you said 2 teams. The one I thought about, or 2 that I thought about with Philly and San Francisco, I think the best fit and need for him right now is Houston. I think he could go to Houston and be there with Sheldon Rankins, who probably doesn't have much longer to go with them, and Tommy Togiai, and learn in the middle of that defense. But I keep coming back to this team, and I don't know if there's a need there for them. I don't think there is. But I just keep thinking Caden McDonald in a Buffalo Bills jersey would be perfect for him.
That absolutely wins. Mr. Finebomb in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
I started my first business when I was 12, mowing lawns for about $5 a yard. I learned if you do the job right, people trust you and customers care that you show up and do what you say you're going to do. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Doors. From garage door repairs to upgrades, we show up, we stand behind every job. We only use the best parts, and spring's guaranteed to last a lifetime. When you care about the people you serve, you work harder and it shows. Call Don's Garage Doors today or schedule online at donsgaragedoors.com.
When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
There's nothing like picking fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs from your own garden. They're fresh and taste better. Those delicious treats start at Oakland Nursery. Number one size blueberry plants start at just $9.99. Cool season vegetable plants start at $2.99 a pack. Asparagus roots, rhubarb crowns, gooseberries, strawberries, and more. And all of your favorite herbs too. Premium quality fruit trees start at just $29.99. Fresh fruit in your cereal and yogurt, fresh veggies in your salad, and herbs in your favorite dish. It all starts at Oakland Nursery.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Spring into savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, drive your new Hyundai with payments as low as $94 per month for a 2-year lease. Get spring lease savings on every model from Elantra to Palisade. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit. Payment on 26 Elantra SC, $39.95 down plus tax title first month payment. 7,500 miles per year and $430.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, buddy. Kaylin Dbor, Alabama, 7 years, 87.5. Why? Is it fair?
There's no explanation why, other than you could probably give some of the credit to Sharon Moore being an idiot, because by him getting fired when he did, it set Dbor up. And of course, Dbor said he was never interested, never spoke to them. But here's what I think, Bo. I think this deal was cut before the Oklahoma game in the CFP, because there was some concern that Dbor, win or lose, might just walk out. I think he would have taken the Michigan job had he lost to Oklahoma. And the reason is the reaction yesterday on our show. The story broke about 4:30, and I mean, it was. I mean, you had to search. You needed a search party to find somebody who didn't immediately want Greg Byrne, the athletic director, fired. It really turned ugly, and what made it even worse is the fact that Dbor had about a $63 million buyout. Now it's up to close to $70 million. This is at the end of next season. That's actually February 1st. I mean, he got fired literally the day after the season. It would cost the school about $78 million.
Good night, Nurse. All right, you've been around that program a long time. I had a feeling that's how your calls were going to go yesterday when I saw this. But in terms of, as you take a step back from it, how much of this is in terms of the way that he is perceived by the fans and your callers? How much of it is him? How much of it is trying to follow Saban, which was always going to be impossible, and how much of it is in this era of college football, Alabama doesn't have quite the advantages they used to have? How do you kind of reconcile all of that?
I think it's all of those, but when it came out yesterday that this number that Dbor is making is more than Saban made in his last year, and the fact that Dbor has lost 8 games in 2 years, Saban lost 8 games in his last 5 years. And those were not his greatest years, by the way. Right. I think there was only one championship in that run. So, I mean, there's just a lot of things, but everyone kind of says the same thing about Dbor. I like him. He's done an okay job, but it just doesn't measure up. And quite frankly, I think Nick Saban probably gets too much credit. Alabama standards are always the same, just like Ohio State standards are. It really doesn't matter who you follow. You better win, and you also better not lose the conference championship game by 21 points, lose at home 2 weeks before that, and then lose by 35 in the Rose Bowl.
No, you don't. And, the other factor in this, and I got 3 examples of just firsthand experience with this. When Jim Tressel was relieved of duties here, he moved. He moved out of town. Urban Meyer, when he was done here, I mean, he still kept a place, but he moved primarily back to Florida. When Bobby Bowden was out at Florida State, when I was down there covering that program, he moved. They kept his house, but I mean, he moved his permanent residence. I think he may have went to Birmingham, Paul, initially, but he has a place in Panama City. Yeah. how much is Saban still there? Like, I see him doing the walkout with the Country Star last weekend. Like, I see him at sporting events for other Alabama things. Like, that can't be helping, is it?
I'll whisper this because I certainly don't want Miss Terry and Nick Saban mad at me, but you're 100% correct. And on top of that, and I'll work my way back to what you said, Saban's on TV all the time. He'll be on the draft tonight. He's on game day. He's talking about Alabama football. He's talking about – so everybody still knows him. But, yeah, he won't go away. He makes $500,000 a year from Alabama. I don't know what he does for it, but he gets it. And that was a big topic Monday. I asked our audience, I said, would it have been better if Kaylin Dbor had walked out with Morgan Wallen at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and the field, of course, is named after Saban. Would anybody have cared if Kaylin Dbor had walked out? And the answer is no. This coming week, the senior event is in Birmingham, and all the coaches play. Kirby plays, a bunch of coaches play. Dbor will play, and Nick Saban will play. And having done our show out there for about the last 10 years, I can tell you what's going to happen. Kaylin Dbor will walk by, and 4 or 5 fans will go up to him. And then the next group will be Nick Saban, and 500 fans will surround him. And that's just the way it is. There's nothing really comparable, and I agree. I mean, Saban is just he's not leaving. He's got a house elsewhere. He's not here all the time, but he is here, and he is present, and he completely sucks the energy out of the room when the two are in the same place.
Does Dbor lean on him at all? Are they friendly?
It's kind of like the former president and the current president. Yeah, they do a photo op, but I don't think there's much conversation. Saban, but he's still there though. I mean, he's there on the day of the SEC championship game with game day. He's there on the biggest Alabama game of the year with Georgia. And Kaylin Dbor has got it down. And the cliches. Yeah, I knew what I was getting into. Well, okay. It wasn't like you got 7 AK-47s at your head. You're now making $12.5 million a year.
Yeah. The money. Why are we doing?
A story came out the other day, which has actually been negative for Dbor, even though I thought it was a cute story. His daughter plays softball for the University of Washington, and he's out there a lot. And anytime you're not in Tuscaloosa recruiting or doing whatever you're supposed to be doing, that does not play well with the audience.
Jeez, what an $87 million mess that all is, my friend. All right, we do have a little bit of thing in terms of, I don't know, and I'm going to use I say little bit of thing, and that might be even giving it too much credit. We're meeting left and right. We love going to these Marriotts. We love having white tablecloth dinners and meeting. I don't know what's coming of it. It seems like Sankey is pretty out in front on all of this. Feels like the television partners are pretty out in front on all of this. We want it to stay at 16. Tony Petitti has really botched it. I've talked about it ad nauseum in terms of selling this 24-team model. Obviously, Fox wants the 24 team as well. What, if anything, can you take of these meetings this week?
The most important takeaway I took out of yesterday, and the meeting was in Dallas, is Sankey and Rich Clark, the head of the CFP, and others talked to the media on the way out. Guess who snuck out the back door? Tony Petitti. And that does not help his cause. He's let Eric Shanks, the president of Fox, do his bidding. And the only thing I will add is that I've talked to a number of coaches this time of the year, and there are more and more who are saying, you know what, maybe 24 isn't such a bad thing. And they're saying that because they know that it's playoff or bust, whether it's 12, 16, or 24. And the biggest thing you hear down here is coaches don't like this 9-game schedule. I had Mike Elko on yesterday. I had another coach the day before, and it just gives them a bailout. But I've yet to hear anybody make a convincing argument how the 24-team playoff really helps. And by the way, I don't blame the SEC for not wanting to give up the $70 million SEC championship game. Sankey knows it's going away eventually, but he's going to hold on to it as long as possible.
Yeah, you have to do that. I'll get you out of here on this one, buddy. NFL draft is tonight. Is there a player that you saw a lot out of the SEC that is being slept on a little bit in some of these, and we don't know what's real and what's not with these mock drafts, but is there a guy that you think will translate maybe better than some of what you're seeing from draft analysts?
I mean, there are a number on that, though. But I think the one who has gotten way too much attention is Ty Simpson. I've never seen him as a first-round draft choice, and depending on which ESPN analyst you like, I did think this was funny, and I'll end on this. Some Alabama fan, I was talking about how there's only one or two Alabama players that are listed in the top 32, and I think there's 4 Ohio State players in the top 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And he said, what about Caleb Downs? I said, Caleb Downs is at Ohio State right now, buddy. He's no longer at Alabama.
We claim him. We claim, and by the way, for that caller, we're going to claim Julian too. Like he's our guy now too, buddy. They're all our guys. They're all Buckeyes, Paul. Good stuff as always. Appreciate you.
But tonight, though, the SEC will not be able to boast as much as it usually does on draft nights.
No, probably not. Appreciate you as always, buddy. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Bet.
There he goes, Paul Finebaum, ESPN and SEC Network, joining us on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Yeah, that Dbor stuff's crazy. Like what he's having to do, like with Saban literally in the building, that is nuts. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
With over 33 years of experience, Newman Roofing has become a household name in Central Ohio. Voted best roofing company 4 years in a row, Newman Roofing delivers a white glove experience every time. When it comes to your roof, call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit NewmanRoofing.com today.
Common Man here for GoGermain.com. I have been telling you about my friends at Germain for a long time, and it's because they bring the goods. And right now, you get $3,000 over Kelly Blue Book on your trade during the Germain Trade and Upgrade Sales Event. Yes, cue the trumpets. Nearly 4,000 new and pre-owned vehicles, plus an extra $3,000 on your trade means your budget goes further. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Get started now at GoGermain.com.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member. They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
Spring is here, and there's no better place to make memories than the Columbus Zoo. See tigers up close, watch playful otters, and see the baby elephants in action. For a limited time, take advantage of our Zoo After 2 p.m. deal. Plan your adventure at columbuszoo.org.
When you saw your heating bills this winter, did you think this is out of control? The problem is your house is leaking money, and the only thing higher than your heating bills are your cooling bills. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us fix your energy bill problem for good. If you aren't foam insulated, you really aren't insulated. For $99 a month, interest-free, we'll foam your home and help cut those energy bills. 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
4 tickets, hot dogs, and drinks, all for just $115. The Columbus Aviators Family Flight Plan makes game day easy. Grab yours at UFLaviators.com.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Get Eco. ECO. When your drain is clogged, our drain team will clear it for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it will stay clear for at least a year. Or we'll clear it again for free. Get Eco. ECO. Go to geteco.com.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver. leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. April's the perfect time to reset your home for the long run, and Universal Windows Direct makes that decision easy. Right now, when you buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. The more you upgrade, the more you save. Plus 24 months with no payments and no interest. And if you need some more, how about a $500 bonus off your home improvement project? Schedule your free estimate today. Call 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Thursday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
On Wednesday, On3 and several other outlets reported that Fox has officially bought back the 2026 Big Ten title game from NBC. The Peacock received between $45 and $55 million from Fox for the Big Ten title tilt. That was from the Wall Street Journal. NBC is also going to receive one additional Big Ten game this season from Fox. John Miller, president of acquisitions and partnerships for NBC Sports, told Puck's John Arand that NBC had, quote, interests from streamers to broadcast the game. However, NBC's only option was to televise the contest if Fox did not buy it back. Miller also told Arand, quote, the Fox guys said we'd like to take the Big Ten championship back if you're open to it. NBC had no authority to keep Fox from buying back the game if Fox wanted it.
What?
Fox will own the rights to the Big Ten championship game in 5 of the 7 years under the current agreement with the conference that runs until the 2030s. Into the 2030s, I should say. CBS has the rights to 2 other Big Ten title games in that span. Again, the span from now till 2030, whenever. The 2025 Big Ten title game between Ohio State and Indiana was the 6th most watched college football game last season. Thing or not a thing?
Okay. First of all, the line in here about how NBC's only option was to televise the contest if Fox didn't buy it back. There was no authority to keep Fox from buying it back. So why didn't Fox just give them $1? Here's $1. For the why they shouldn't, by this way that this reads, you shouldn't have had to pay anything for it.
Well, I think in that situation,
charity,
NBC would have just kept the game, but they found Fox with this offer.
Okay, so that's how it happens. Now, what I'm curious about does, because NBC, now you're in my wheelhouse, now you're talking about, hey, night games. So if you're getting a Big Ten game back from Fox, what's the stipulation on that? And is that now possible for, let's say, Ohio State, Oregon to be a night game instead of big noon?
That was the first game I thought of, was Buckeyes Ducks.
Right? That's the one that jumps out to me. Does that now become a night game? Ohio State would love that. They would sprint for that. So that's kind of the hope where I think maybe this is a win-win for everybody.
So I'm wondering here, and I looked into this a little while ago because we talked about this some a few weeks ago. So basically what it was is NBC thought that they could just sell these rights to anyone, but there was some clause in the contract that Fox could say, no, like, it's ours. We get it back unless. Okay. So it was, okay, we're going to work out some deal that Fox, you get this, or NBC, as Reese said, was going to broadcast the game like normal.
Yeah.
I'm guessing one of these picks is going to be Fox gets the first 3, and then they get the pick each week. I'm guessing it'll be one of those weeks. So I'm guessing Fox is still going to take, because Ohio State, Texas is ESPN and ABC. So I'm guessing Fox would still probably take Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana, and Ohio State, Oregon. I would guess that would be there.
Have? The only thing that would be interesting is, like, who does Michigan have next year? Do they have an Oklahoma or something like that?
They do.
Early?
They host Oklahoma on September 12th.
So maybe that would be.
That's your best shot. Is okay, yeah. So they host Oklahoma. There's the Michigan-Penn State game. I mean, you'd rather have Ohio State, but, like, there are scenarios where, I mean, can you just let me have a little bit of hope that we can have a big night game around here? Just for a minute.
I think you've got it. I think Oregon could happen. What would a Fox take if it was
Fox
down
is going to if it works the way that you just laid out, and I don't know if I've ever seen it completely spelled out that that's exactly how it works, but if it ends up that they get the first 3 picks, if that is the case, and they take Ohio State, Michigan first, I think they would take Ohio State, Indiana second. And then if they have the 3rd pick, it'll come down to the Michigan-Oklahoma game or Ohio State-Oregon.
And they chose that game 2 years ago, so I think they would choose that again. So you are probably going to get Ohio State-Oregon.
Yeah, there's nothing like USC doesn't move the needle at all. We know Penn State doesn't move the needle the way Ohio State and Michigan does, and Penn State's schedule this year is nothing. Does Oregon have a big non-conference that I'm not thinking of? No, they don't. No, they got an at USC game that Fox can't broadcast anyway. So NBC could play the long game here, and they're either going to end up with, my hunch would be if it's for this year, they're going to end up as a night game, either Michigan hosting Oklahoma or Ohio State hosting Oregon at night.
So you had talked with Paul about Kaylin Dbor's 7-year contract. With the round of new spending that was announced yesterday, Alabama football's general manager, Courtney Morgan, receives a raise from $875K to $1.2 million a year. Thing or not a thing?
Massive thing. I never understand why arbitrarily schools decide to just give coaches these massive new contracts. What made you think that you had to go to $12.5 million for Kaylin Dbor? Now, Paul said when he was on that he thought that this was probably all T's crossed and I's dotted all the way back when the Sharon Moore got in trouble, and the Kaylin Dbor might have just gone to Michigan at that point, and so maybe this was all agreed upon, which makes a ton of sense. One other thing I want to reiterate, though, I can't think of another scenario in coaching where you are replacing a legend, and the legend not only still lives in the town, but the legend actually works in the building and is still on payroll. And then you see him every week on. I think Kaylin Dbor is in one of the most impossible situations. It was always going to be impossible, but Saban's refusal to not be all over everything. And he has every right to be, but his refusal to not be only exacerbates the situation for Dbor.
It's not near the scrutiny, but it's almost like Barry Alvarez being the general manager or the athletic director at Wisconsin and still filling in. Like when the next coach leaves, I'm going to coach the bowl game and
right.
Still being around. Wouldn't that be something if like Alabama fired Dbor this year and then Saban steps in and coaches their bowl game? But I wonder if we're going to continue with this. I'm guessing we are, but is there going to come a point where where these schools are like, hey, we're giving you this much for a roster. We're not giving you the contract extensions anymore and giving you all these raises. And maybe $12.5 million is too much. Maybe we'll knock you back to $7.5 million. Now, nobody's going to, I don't think these coaches are going to be on board for that. I'm guessing they're going to try to leave and go somewhere else. But I don't get it. Like, you were making $10.5 million. Now you got 2 more years on your contract and you're making $12.5 million this year. I like Kaylin Dbor. Where was this warranted?
On Wednesday, Front Office Sports reported Warriors head coach Steve Kerr has been meeting recently with media agents in the event he leaves Golden State. Kerr's not under contract for the 26-27 season. He's 60, and he served as the head coach of the Warriors since 2014. He's got 1,109 total victories plus 4 NBA championships in that span. All 3 NBA rights partners, ESPN, NBC, and Amazon Prime, will reportedly have interest in Kerr if he decides to return to TV. So when he retired as a player, he was a commentator for TNT from 03 to 07, and then a short stint in 2010. Thing or not a thing?
Do you guys remember him?
No.
On TV?
Yeah, a little bit.
He was awesome. He was awesome. If you remember Doug Collins, kind of had a Doug Collins approach to it, was awesome at television. And by the way, why would he not just sign up for this? How are you going to do better than the run that he had in Golden State from 4 titles? He got to coach Steph his entire prime and Draymond and Clay and all of it and Durant and all the fun. Why would you ever want to coach again? He's got all the money in the world. Make $5, $6, $7 million a year and be the A1 color analyst on whichever one of these he wants, and he could do it. ESPN would make him the voice of the finals right now with Mike Breen. Right now, they would do it. And they'd be smart to.
I'm guessing that if Steve Kerr wants to come back, the Golden State Warriors would welcome him back with open arms. And they would make sure if he wants to be there that they would get something done. Mm-hmm. So this kind of tells me if he's having these exploratory talks, this kind of tells me Steve Kerr's time with the Golden State Warriors is up. He doesn't want to coach there anymore.
Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't want to coach at all anymore. But this tells me he's done. They'll have a new coach next year.
He said the hot mic picked up the conversation between him and Steph and Draymond after they were eliminated in the play-in stuff. And he was like, I love you guys. I don't know what's going to happen. I love you guys.
So when they did the hug?
Yeah. That told you kind of all you need to know. All right, final hour on a draft day Thursday. Nathan Zegura on the Cleveland Browns radio network going to join us at 11:30. We open up the mailbag next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Some choose the fast way, others the easy way. But you do things the right way, like Exmark Mowers and Voss Brothers Power Equipment. Exmark builds the world's finest zero-turn mowers, providing a legendary quality of cut, dependability, along with an experience that makes mowing feel like anything but work. Because if it's worth doing right. Stop by one of Voss Brothers' 3 convenient locations in Powell, Sunbury, or Marysville and discover the Exmark mower that will give your lawn the cut it deserves. Voss Brothers Power Equipment, delivering enjoyment in mowing since 1989.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turns, skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Before the lights go down, before the first chord hits, start your night the right way with Jameson Irish Whiskey at the ultimate pre-concert party. Join us at the O on Lane for ice-cold drinks, great vibes, and the smooth taste of Jameson flowing all night long. Grab your crew, raise a glass, and get concert ready with Jameson specials, music, and the kind of energy that only happens before the show. Jameson at the O on Lane, where the night really begins. Drink responsibly. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025. Imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Columbus drivers, Ford is making it easy to drive home happy with special financing that works for all credit situations. At Capital Ford of Columbus, save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining 2025 Ford Escapes in stock. No matter your credit, Capital Ford of Columbus has programs to get you approved fast and into any new or used Ford in stock. Don't miss out. These incredible offers end April 30th. Head to Capital Ford of Columbus at 1090 South Hamilton Road today or get pre-approved at capitalfordofcolumbus.com.
This spring, celebrate the sparkle that she brings to your life with something that sparkles right back. Whether it's for Mother's Day, an anniversary, or just because, Diamond Cellar has the perfect gift for the women who mean the world to you. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Selma Road and at Easton Town Center.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify. including VA benefits.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone here for Window Nation. Spring has arrived, and it'll be a great time to open your windows. But, oh, wait, your windows don't open easily. They leak when it rains. They've got cracked glass. They need repainting again. Ugh. Getting top quality custom fit windows from Window Nation, that's easy and affordable. Right now, during the More You Buy, the More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. During uncertain times, one of the best investments you can make is in your home. Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. With Window Nation, you'll get windows that easily slide open and closed. They are made with top quality seals so they won't leak when it's rainy or windy. And unlike other windows, they're maintenance free. They're so good, Window Nation stands behind them with a lifetime warranty. And they're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale. Going on now. Sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com for your consultation.
What would it take for my child to only miss half a day of school for treatment?
What would it take to fund a cure for childhood cancer?
It would take all of us to come together to support the research. Join us. Go to childrenscancer.org today.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. No college program has ever produced 100 first-round draft picks. Ohio State could become the first, as 5 Buckeyes are projected to hear their names called tonight as the NFL draft begins in Pittsburgh. OSU's got 95 first-rounders all time, USC 86, Alabama 84. Listen to the NFL draft right here on The Fan starting at 8 o'clock. The Cleveland Browns have the 6th and 24th overall selections. The Bengals sent number 10 to New York for Dexter Lawrence. Cincinnati's first pick won't be until Friday, the 9th pick in the second round. In baseball, both the Reds and Guardians are off Thursday. Both Ohio teams have a half-game lead in their respective divisions. Cincinnati hosts Detroit on Friday, while Cleveland heads to Toronto. The Cavaliers are also in Toronto this weekend. Cavs will play the Raptors tonight at 7 in Game 3 of their first-round playoff series. Cleveland leads the best of 7, 2-0. Raptors are going to host Game 4 on Sunday. This update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union, voted best credit union for the past 8 years by CBUS Top Picks. Visit bmifcu.org to learn more.
The show that understands the importance of a situational beverage. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Final hour here on a Thursday. Nathan Zegura, voice of the Cleveland Browns, will join us here in about 28 minutes from now on the very latest from up in Berea. Obviously, most of our attention will be there with the 2 first-round picks. Curious what Pittsburgh does with their pick. The Bengals already used their pick on Dexter Lawrence, so no pick at number 10 from them. And then, obviously, all eyes on the Buckeyes as we try to sort out exactly where the 4 or 5 Buckeyes who we expect will go in the first round will land. Some great stuff already today. Check out the podcast. Three's joined earlier with his thoughts on his 2 guys, in addition to some thoughts on Caleb Downs as well. Time now to open up that mailbag. Hit it, fellas.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
I tell you, we got the best listeners. We've got emails about Buckeye football. We got emails about the weather. We got emails wanting us to name a child. We've got emails for recommendations for where to eat.
We'll start with the kid thing.
I'll get to it.
Zipper merge, though, Bo. A bunch of them.
A lot of zipper merges. A lot of people.
I love it.
And even Joshua dealt with a zipper merge this morning.
Oh, boy.
Which was, that's jail.
That picture he sent us. Oh, wow.
I've lived that. I know. I mean, that's a bad job. All right, let's start with Mike. The topic is Ohio State football another year. Hey, Bo and the boys. Great show. Longtime listener. I'm a big Buckeye fan. Love this time of year when we're 120 days from the first game and half of Columbus is handing the Bucs the national championship. I know I'm older, but I also care about, all I care about is beat Michigan, win the Big Ten. If you do that, everything else will come. By the way, since 2000, Ohio State has beat Michigan and won the Big Ten 10 times, which includes streaks of 2005 to 9 and then 2017 to 19. That's pretty good. Let's all focus on these goals, and we will be good. Keep up the great work, Mike. Yeah, I mean, those two, when we have this conversation, it takes a little bit of nuance because we just lived this. You lose to Michigan 2 years ago, but win the national championship. Sorry. Last year you beat Michigan, but don't. Which one was more enjoyable? That's what's such a tricky one.
I do get his point, though, and we talked about this the other day, and the fact that we only judge everything now by the finale in the championship, and we can't have it can't have been a good year if you don't win the national championship. And I do get that a little bit. Like, only one team wins the Super Bowl, but it doesn't mean that other teams in the NFL didn't have really good years. Did you come short of your ultimate goal? Yes, you did, but I do think we don't enjoy things like we should. We don't enjoy successes like we should.
Just because of what November of last year meant and how much pressure there was.
Yeah.
I don't remember outside of 2025, 2014. It might have been more than 2014 because 2014 was so unexpected with the Cardale Jones ride. A more cathartic win in Buckeye history.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'll say this, too. I think it sucks that we can lose to Michigan and lose the Big Ten title and still win the national title. Now, it was great, and I enjoyed it, but I think it sucks.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is the old bowl system. There were many bowls I covered for Ohio State that weren't national championships that were awesome, and the team had the time of their lives. But that's all gone because of greed and money and everything else. This from Ben. Hey, guys, appreciate the amazing banner each day. Look forward to listening every morning. Not able to make it to this year's spring game due to our son's travel baseball schedule, but it was a fun tradition the last 5 years. We did it with my wife and 3 kids. Last year, unfortunately, I knew the campus life had passed me by and realized, yep, I'm a man, I'm 40. After the game, driving down Lane in Indianola, the house I lived at had a big party going on with college co-eds having a fun time. At the stoplight, I looked over, reminiscing of all the amazing times with my 8 buddies. I'm still great friends, and my wife looked at me with an eye roll and said, "Park the car, let's go." What a wife, by the way.
Wow.
Like a kid on Christmas. That's a keeper, buddy. I don't know where the rest of this is going. Like a kid on Christmas, found a spot quickly, hopped out thinking we'll get a quick picture from Dad's old stomping grounds, be on our way. The kids at the house shockingly couldn't be nicer, invited us to partake in some bevs, had chips for the kids, played some cornhole, beer pong, was having a great time until one of the guys asked me, "So when did you live here and graduate?" I said 2006. He replied, "Oh, cool. That's when I was born."
You had to know that was coming.
The most defeated look came upon my face, and I sadly told my wife, time to go. Any story that's reminiscing with your guys realizing the glory laser behind you. Appreciate you sharing past emails, Benny. That's incredible wife.
Yeah.
Great job.
I hope you got her something nice after, like when you returned home, like there was flowers or something else. Because there's nothing that makes you feel younger and older at the same time. Like I try to get to Athens every summer, and you're reminded in the same 12-hour span that this was the greatest thing ever, but you just can't do it again.
Yeah.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah.
This one from, I think it's from A Book, I think. Somebody will have to check me on this, but if I remember correctly, Robert Smith, as a freshman in his first spring game, took the first kickoff of the game to the house. To your point, it was our first chance to see the kid in action, and you got the sense that this kid might be pretty good. Robert Smith, when I ask people in Ohio, who's the best high school football player you've ever seen, almost unilaterally, if they are from Northeast Ohio and of a certain age, they'll say Robert Smith is the best high school football player they've ever seen.
He, maybe more than anyone I ever remember watching, looked different running. Like, people will say, oh my gosh, that guy looks like a deer. No, he really did. He just kind of glided, was a super long strider. He looked like he was in slow motion, but nobody could catch him.
It almost looked like his feet didn't touch the ground.
Yeah,
like he almost was floating.
Yeah, like levitating.
A little bit of that. Yeah, he was special. He really was. This one from Barry, he writes, "You guys don't get it. Adultery of a head coach absolutely isn't a private matter. It damages the whole organization. Ask Sharon Moore." You're right. It can damage the situation, and this is why Mike Vrabel's actually going to be away from the Patriots in the third day of the draft. So that's what that's all about. I still believe it's a private matter. The big difference between Sharon Moore and Mike Vrabel's situation is Sharon Moore was carrying on an affair with a subordinate.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big difference than the Vrabel situation.
Yeah, it's
no parallels there.
It's not something other than the Vrabel thing is something that only if you love drama are you invested in, because it doesn't affect First off, it doesn't affect the Patriots at all because they're just trying to win football games at the professional level.
Yeah.
And she covers she's just an outsider in that. She's an outsider insider.
Yeah.
You just can't get me to be all that interested in it because it really doesn't affect the NFL as a product.
Yeah, 2 consenting adults who did something, who I think apparently, very obviously, did something
it was
nefarious
stupid
outside
because
of their
it was
marriages.
so obvious.
But, yeah, right. By the way, and I did say this yesterday, if whatever you presume of this, if it is the worst of this, is her having that, are those two having that relationship, how much is that different from like Jay Glazer being best friends with Sean McVay?
Adultery's bad.
It is.
I don't
I'm
care
not minimizing
about theirs.
it. I'm with you. I'm just saying, like, relationships happen. Humans are a mess.
None of us are condoning what happened, I don't believe. But I don't know if there's anything in any of our lives. Like, I don't think any of us are perfect. And I don't know, I don't know what you equate adultery to in your life or whatnot. It's none of my business what 2 consenting adults do. Also, I'm pretty sure, as you mentioned, Bo, like Diana Rossini doesn't work for Mike Vrabel.
No.
I'm pretty sure that there's nothing else nefarious going on in Mike Vrabel's life. Maybe there is, but we don't know about it. There was a lot nefarious going on with the Michigan football program and Sharon Moore. Also, to the best of my knowledge, Mike Vrabel hasn't held her up with a butter knife.
No.
And threatened her life and his with that. So I think these are way different things. Also, isn't Michigan a public university?
Also true.
Aren't they getting state funds?
So taxpayer dollars could be going to her salary.
There's a lot of differences in these 2 scenarios.
Almost very, very, very little similarities. This one from Peggy. I share the opinion, or she goes, Tyvis is right, which I'm surprised you read it. Yeah, because I don't condone that. Peggy writes, I share the opinion that Pulp Fiction is overrated. I did not like anything about that movie. I found the whole plot terribly disjointed and all the violence gratuitous. It did not hit with me at all. Also, Hangover, terrible movie.
What?
My opinion. Peggy.
What?
Hangover 2, huh? I get Pulp Fiction. That's a choice.
The violence being gratuitous is part of the fun.
Yeah.
Like Tarantino, ramps up the violence as part of the movie. I like it.
Like I said, it was the seminal movie-going experience of my life because I'd never seen anything like it before, and then there was a lot that mimicked it since, but never had. All right, we're going to attempt to name a child. We got zipper merges. We've got first state steakhouses. It's all coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Kerr Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Common Man here for Germain Volkswagen. Right now, you get $3,000 over Kelly Blue Book on your trade during the Germain Trade and Upgrade Sales Event at both Germain Volkswagen of Columbus and Germain Volkswagen of Westerville. Plus, during Volkswagen Driver Days, interest rates can't get any lower on the 2026 Volkswagen Atlas and the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan. Available to qualified customers on approved credit through Volkswagen Financial Services. See dealer for full details. Get started now at GermainVolkswagen.com.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, what are we wearing?
Lie detectors. Anytime a lie is detected, we get a little shock.
All right, let's try them. So, Pella was rated by homeowners as the leading window brand here in Columbus.
Nothing? Okay. Well, our windows can change the look of your home. This thing sometimes shocks you when you tell the truth. Ouch. It's okay. I'm having fun.
Get the windows that can change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Disasters strike, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. Direct Relief delivers. No politics, no red tape. Direct Relief is a lifeline to people in crisis. So check them out at directrelief.org. And if you can, donate.
Join our resident gambling degenerates, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money, Sunday mornings at 9.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Fan.
Who's Vice President J.D. Vance's pick for Ohio Treasurer? America First conservative Jay Edwards. As the first state lawmaker to endorse Donald Trump for president, Jay Edwards has been on the front lines, standing up to the rhinos and leftists since day one. Now, we need a MAGA fighter who protects our Ohio tax dollars as our treasurer. And that's what Jay Edwards has always done. He sponsored the largest tax cut in Ohio history, saving families over $3.1 billion. Jay Edwards has never been afraid to do what's right and fight for our values. That's why he's a 100% pro-life and 100% pro-gun conservative, earning the highest possible rating from Ohio gun owners. He's the proven America First leader we need to clean up fraud and keep our money safe. Endorsed by J.D. Vance. Jay Edwards for Ohio Treasurer.
Paid for by Friends of Jay Edwards.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies and temperatures in the low 80s. For tonight, partly cloudy with our overnight lows in the mid to upper 50s. And then for Friday, we do have a mostly sunny day and warm and breezy with highs in the mid to low 80s. We still have a lingering chance of showers and storms developing in the afternoon and evening. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, we continue with the mailbag. We're going to name a kid. That's where we're at. This one is from Daniel. Subject matter, help. Montana boy's name needed. Hey guys, longtime listener, first-time emailer. Bo, my daughter and son-in-law are about to add to the male population of Great Falls, Montana in days, 16 and counting. By the way, that's the airport I fly into. That's right in the wheelhouse, or fly into or out of when I go home, depending on where else we go when we head back to the Big Sky country in the summer. Have yet to settle on a name. I was wondering if you could suggest some classic male Montana names for them to consider. Thanks. First-time expectant grandfather. First of all, congratulations. Oh, and then I'll tell you what, we can help you with this too. We a little bit of permission to do a little hunting on the Ponderosa. We'll see what we can do about that, buddy. All right, so these are the ones that Montana boy's name. Probably the most famous Montanan, and this is for the old kids. Probably the most famous Montanan, like in terms of pop culture in the old days, was the famous actor Gary Cooper, who Tony Soprano was a big fan of, the strong silent type. So you go Coop. You could name him Cooper, and you could call him Coop. That would seem like a win. There was Montana had a very, very popular senator who was one of the longest-serving senators in the United States Senate. You might not want to go political, but his name is Max Baucus, and Max is kind of a cool name. You don't hear. I had an Uncle Max. That's an old name that's kind of getting a little bit of rejuvenated a little bit. Another one I thought of, there was an actor named George Montgomery who is from the town near where I grew up. So George might work a little bit. And then, quite honestly, let's just do the low-hanging fruit. You could just name him Bo. I mean, that'd work. You can do that. My parents named us Bo, Tucker, and Cade. And anytime I tell people those are the names of me and my brothers, a lot of people say, well, those are very Montana names. I don't know if they are or not, but they sound like it to people when I tell them those were the names of me and my brothers.
Was Tucker Casey's kid from...
Yep. No, he was the Casey.
Okay.
In that scenario.
Yeah. I see that Governor Forrest H. Anderson served the great state of Montana from 1969 to 1973. Forrest.
You do run into a little Nathan Bedford Forrest with that, which you might not be the biggest fan of, and also Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, when I just Montana-inspired names, the first two that came to my head were Blake and Wyatt.
Blake.
And then I looked up top Montana baby names, recent trends.
Yeah.
And Wyatt is on there. And then Western and Cowboy-inspired names, Wyatt is on there as well, so I'm sticking with Wyatt.
Wyatt Earp? Not sure if he was ever in Montana. He was in the Black Hills, but yeah, that's not a bad one. All right, this one from Ben. Whether you're not crazy is the subject line. I evaluate weather-related property loss claims for insurance claims, tornado, wind, hail, tree fall. I had 75% more assignments this March than I did last month. April will be an even bigger spike. 2026 has been extreme. 2025 was exceptionally mild. So it's nice when you get confirmation that you're right about how it feels. It's been more extreme than it's ever been. Speaking of the weather, this one from Trevor. Hey, totally get where you're coming from with all of these weather alerts. It's a bit crazy. Not sure if you know this, but Apple bought Dark Skies weather app and integrated a bunch of it into the Apple Weather app. One other choice I've had good luck with is using the Red Cross emergency app. Set the areas you want alerts for. I live in Plain City and usually only get alerts when it's warranted. Really enjoy the show. All of three of you are great morning listening. Trevor, thanks for that. Dark Sky used to be my jam. I loved that one. And then I thought it maybe wasn't as great, but maybe it's just part of the Apple weather. And I'm paying. I'll tell you what, I've always been an AccuWeather guy. I use a 10 TV Plus too, but I've always been an AccuWeather guy. And I pay for it, and it's usually been lights out. But it's struggled, I think, the last couple of weeks. And I don't know what the deal is. It has not been as elite as I would have thought previously.
I will say this: we've been getting weather alerts like crazy all winter and spring. I didn't see any impact weather alerts last night when all of a sudden storms came through central Ohio and were laying down marble-sized hail everywhere. My friend left the windows open, looked like a flood in the floor. Looked like a pipe burst in their house.
That was I did get the alert for that from AccuWeather that was on the way. So I don't know. That's tough.
I'll tell you what. There are 25,000 ratings of the 10 TV app. 4.8 is the average. So
that's pretty good.
You know what, Baker? Maybe just give it another chance.
I never yet dropped 10 TV in there, did I?
You did not. No, you're fair. You're safe. This one from Sarah. The subject: the zipper merge debate. Hi there. I was driving my car last week and caught a teaser about you guys getting ready to have a debate on the zipper merge. I was only in my car to catch the teaser, but I feel strongly I need to be in on that debate. I wish I heard that discussion, and please tell me you are a pro zipper merger. Yes, of course I'm a pro zipper merger. Use the lane until it is closed. At the point that it closes, merge the two lanes.
And so is ODOT. ODOT said do it.
The whole world says do it. And if you want proof on the whole world comment, how about this one from Chris? Zipper merge from the mailbag. Dear Bo and the boys, I heard many comments on the zipper merge and wanted to chime in. While stationed in Germany with the U.S. Army as a military police officer, it is well known that the zipper merge was enforceable by law.
Meaning that
you could be ticketed for not following it. Also, the German police were not held to any police brutality laws, so you may get pulled over and just slapped for being dumb and get a ticket.
Oh, I like that even more.
Holy cow.
I like that a lot.
Leave it to the Germans. Inconsequently, I may add that I've had to correct many people regarding the Autobahn, as they think often it is a single highway in Germany where you can drive as fast as you wish. It is not true. The Autobahn is the freeway system, and in many parts of it, you can drive as fast as you with one of a couple of rules. You can only be in the left two lanes if you're passing someone. And if you don't zipper merge, you may be ticketed or slapped. How does this fit your philosophy of highway driving? I'm for all of it. I would love all of that. Also, if Americans could figure out the roundabouts this decade, that would be amazing.
Good luck with that.
He's got more. Lastly, I feel we align with many modes of thought. We're of similar age, share a similar background, trying to raise children in a world very different from how we were raised. And I previously mentioned my military background. That being said, how do you feel about hat backwards guy after the age of 30? Can we add this to the landscape of college football? I find it very hard to take any male seriously with his hat backward, Baker included, if he is over 30. He is. Can we say if you have 5 years out of high school to wear your hat backwards, then you cannot be taken seriously as an adult if you're subject to being pulled over by the police and smacked at any point in any time? We employ an office linebacker. Can you tackle you at any point for not being serious about life? From Chris. I can't get there on the hat backwards, and I'll just tell you why. If I am at the beach or someplace where I'm outside for an extended period of time, sometimes I'll throw it on backwards just to get a little sun.
So, I understand we're not all him, but are you going to tell that to Ken Griffey Jr.? Might be one of the coolest humans ever. Wore his hat backwards to this day. And also, I don't believe I've worn my hat backwards for a while, but I will do that sometimes in here. Well, because it's nice to put my headphones back on there, and I can kind of have like one ear up so I can hear like other things. Like if I'm listening for like when we're going to a Ryan Day press conference and I need to hear the cue speaker too. Sometimes it's nice that it's just an easy way for my headphones to sit there and keep one ear on and one ear off. I don't know.
I'm thinking about it now. I think I am automatic hat backwards guy at the beach right away. That's my entry into the beach scene. Like if we're at a beach where it's spring break or we're up at the lake, whatever, I think my first hour or so is usually hat backwards to get a little vitamin D on the melon.
There's exceptions to every rule.
By the way, Bo, Chris mentioned he's from Bainbridge, Ohio, which my uncle lived in Bainbridge my whole life growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Know Bainbridge very well. He mentioned the Fall Festival of Leaves. We used to do that every year when I was a kid. My uncle also, the only person I've ever known that had to mow his roof.
Come again?
His house was like built into a hill and he had grass on his roof, so you would have to mow the roof of his house.
It's got to be great insulation.
Stayed cool in the very, very cool in there.
Cool.
A great napping house.
I bet it was. Finally, this one from Michael. Hey, Bishop and friends, it's Petey, your resident American Airlines pilot. I can't wait till I hop on an American Airlines flight and I see him. And, well, I guess he will see me because I don't know what Petey looks like, Captain Petey. He goes, I overnight in Columbus in May and want to sit down with my best friend for his birthday dinner. What dinner reservation do I make? He's a plain man, so a Ponderosa theme would be appropriate. Does High Bank serve dinner, or is that a dessert? High Bank would be spectacular for this. I mean, they would knock this out of the park. You're going to have great food, great spirits, great beer, whatever you want. They're set up for it, absolutely. I think that's probably the answer. That would probably be the layup answer. It's that simple, because it's two dudes. Now, I guess if you want a steak or something like a white tablecloth experience, then it opens up a bunch of stuff. But it's hard to beat High Bank for what it seems like he wants here.
Especially with their locations, right? There's places to go. There are three of them for High Bank. But it would depend on what you want.
Yeah.
High Bank would be great. A Ruby's, of course, is always good, as you say, Bo. When I hear him say Ponderosa theme, for some reason I just think older. And when I think of older, nice restaurants in town, a lot of times, especially like a steakhouse, I think of the Top out in Bexley, which would be great.
That's a great old school joint right there. That's a great job. And great job out of you on the emails. Anytime you can name a kid, give a place to eat, get the zipper merge sorted out, both American and in Germany, you get everything you want. That's a good job out of the listeners on that one. Nathan Zigur coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better. Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, the new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right. 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Hey, it's AR here from my longtime friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. If you need service but don't have time to plan it out, Germain Honda of Dublin makes it easy. During the Honda Spring event, you can take advantage of same-day service, no appointment necessary. Just pull in, and their team will take care of you. Fast, convenient, and done right the first time. They've been taking care of me and my Ridgeline for years. Keep your Honda running at its best with Germain Honda of Dublin and at GermainHondaofDublin.com.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to SleepBetterColumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, he's the senior media broadcaster for your Cleveland Browns. He once took a guitar from Jeff Jarrett in the back and lived to tell about it, fought a 7-foot giant, father to Luca. I mean, how many things... What can't he do? Scratch golfer, deadlift 7,000 pounds. What can't the guy do? Nathan Zegura, how you doing, buddy?
Dude, what an introduction. First of all, I can't deadlift 70 pounds, let alone 700 with this back right now. But other than that, solid introduction. I really appreciate it. It's always great to be with you. Like I get to be every single day. It's a real pure joy in my life.
Buddy, I had an email before we get to the Browns because that'll obviously be the main topic of conversation. I had an email from a U.S. Army veteran who served in Germany, and we were having a conversation about zipper merges, and you and I are proponents of it. He said in Germany, not only do they enforce it by law, but if you do not do it, they give you a ticket and they have the right to slap you.
Yes. I love it. I'd like that to be instituted here. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I don't understand it. I like that. Punishable by public slap. Yes, you should be shamed if you're one of these people that pull out and block an empty lane of traffic. Zipper merge, more efficient. We all got places to go, folks.
It's pretty simple. Stay in the lanes that are open until they're not. It's not that hard.
Right.
It's not that hard, buddy. Hey, this is a massive draft. Very good draft last year for the Cleveland Browns. You and I talk all the time about, look, you need you're going into a new building in 2029. You need foundational pieces. You are picking at number 6. This has got to be a 10-year Cleveland Brown. It's got to be a second and third-year contract guy. It needs to be a Pro Bowler. What is your sense on what Andrew Berry will where his head is at heading into this pick, the first one at 6 tonight?
That's a great question. That's $1 million question. I don't think anybody knows. I can tell you what I think you want, and I know what I want, and I know what I think a great majority of people in Cleveland want, and that's Carnell Tate. And I think that they would take as a backup, and I know we're talking in Columbus, but it's just the truth. They would take as a backup Arvell Reeves if he's there, Sonny Styles if he's there, and certainly Caleb Downs, who you and I are both huge fans of. So I think the real question is, we have not seen Andrew Berry take a wide receiver early in a draft since Corey Coleman in 2016. That has not worked out well, but that's a decade ago. And I think you look at this league, it is a scoring league. You need weapons. You need guys that can make plays. I know you had Brian Hartline on in your program here, and he says there's no doubt that this kid's a number one receiver. That's exactly what the Browns need more than anything. Joe Thomas told us, look, offensive linemen are bouncers. And if you're, you want to have the best bouncer when you're the number one band in the world. But when you're a garage band, you don't need the best bouncer. So let's put the band together and then worry about protecting them.
That was such an incredible lineman. This is a guy who's a first ballot Hoff, gold jacket, all the things. He's on the all-time NFL team, and he's saying, look, if you don't have one of these guys, what am I for? And you and I, we've been echoing this for a long time. We were on Ted McMillan a year ago. You were a big fan of him, and we'll see what happens here. In terms of just the type of receiver, and obviously Carnell, I think, would fit in any situation. I know you feel that way as well. But in terms of what Todd Monkin is looking for his offense, and we've been on the field the last couple of days with mini camps, who kind of fits that? Who fits that description?
Honestly, I think a lot of guys in this draft, and there are a lot of receivers if the Browns don't go at 6. But let's just talk about the top 3. Carnell Tate, absolutely check. Jordan Tyson, explosive athlete, can play inside, outside. I think he fits what you want. And then Makai Lemon, if you kind of look at the way the Browns are constructed right now, Makai Lemon actually feels a real need. And when you think about a quarterback, whether it be Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders, you love to have those guys who work the middle of the field. And, Judy on the outside, Bond on the outside, and then Makai Lemon in the slot, that would certainly fit. Now, Denzel Boston, he gives you that big perimeter target. I think we need to get bigger in the wide receiver, and that's why I like, Tate's 6'2". Tyson is 6'2". Tyson's not a small guy. I think there's some perception out there that he's small. He's not a small guy. I like Denzel Boston. Casey Concepcion, he can fly. Some problems catching the football. That's a big part of being a wide receiver. Getting open is one thing, but when they throw it to you, you got to catch it. And so that's been one of the struggles there. And then you've got kind of a guy that's been compared to, a Debo Samuel, or you said Anquan Bolden there, and Omar Cooper Jr. So I think all of them could fit. I think getting a guy on the perimeter who helps you certainly would be great, or getting a dominant slot. And so to me, the kind of 4 guys that really fit that mold for me would be at the top, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Makai Lemon as that dominant slot, or then Denzel Boston later on. It's just that good, big bodied. Maybe he can be like a Brandon Marshall for you. That would be phenomenal.
Buddy, I think you and I and most people who know a little bit about how Andrew Berry operates would acknowledge that if there is something in terms of a trade at 6, and whether that's if Reese falls or Love falls or who knows what, that Andrew Berry would take that call and certainly have a listen. The Cowboys scenario has been floated out there, so we've seen that one with 6, and then you get 12 and 20 and have to give up your 2. There's some whispers about a Rams move up potentially as well. My hunch would be maybe that would maybe be a 27 one potentially, which would be very intriguing. How do you think, Andrew, just in your time, how do those things get consummated? And I told this story earlier, that this deal last year was 2 weeks of silence, and that deal was kind of worked out 2 weeks in before. In your time around the league, if something is to go down in that, what does it look like tonight?
First of all, I think we know Andrew Berry well enough to know that I think trade down is, you have to say, if it's not the most likely scenario, it's at least equally likely with saying they're taking somebody. So expecting a move is probably not a bad idea. I think a lot of people, if Carnell Tate's on the board, would want them to just stay there and pick him, myself included. But trade down is certainly there. So what does that look like? Could it be for 2-1s this year? You and I have talked at length, and I know a lot of people we've talked to as quote-unquote experts on our show have talked about the teams aren't really all that interested in giving up, 2027 draft capital. Mm-hmm. Getting 2027 draft capital in the first round in particular is very valuable. Now, the question is, a 27-1 from the Cowboys, which is actually from the Packers, is not necessarily all that valuable. A 27-1 from the Rams is probably not going to be all that valuable in the sense that you were talking 24 or later. At least that's what you would on paper suggest this is going to be, at least 20 or later, right? A playoff team. So that's something that has to be weighed in these move downs and in these trade backs. Now, people say there isn't a lot of depth in this draft in terms of, really quality first-round grades. There aren't a ton of first-round grades. So getting 3 first-round picks, 2 of which would be, 20 and 24, does that make a lot of sense? I mean, it's nice if you hit on it. To me, draft picks are always theories. And there are a lot of people who are looking at, for example, what the Cincinnati Bengals did. The Cincinnati Bengals get Dexter Lawrence, and they give up the 10th pick in the draft. They obviously didn't think that there was an impact player at number 10. And if they did, they'd still be there. But what they felt like, we need to help our defense, and we think at number 10, Dexter Lawrence gives us a heck of a lot more to our defense than that number 10 pick, which is a theory. We were going through, guys who have been picked at number 10, guys who have been picked at certain spots in drafts in years past. It's a hodgepodge. It's not automatic. The thought that, there are no sure things. Dexter Lawrence is a 3.
We may have lost either.
Coming off of a little bit. Am I still, you got me? Got me? Hello?
Yeah, I got you. You're good. Okay. You're good. Sorry, brother. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just saying, these picks are theoreticals. And so I think whenever you have an opportunity to add good football players to your team, or elite, as you said, guys who are going to be on that marquee, guys who are second contract guys, I think you have to do it. And at number 6, That's kind of what I see at that pick. That has to be a pick of somebody who becomes a pillar of the Cleveland Browns. And so I hope that's what they do it. We saw the Bengals say, we don't feel like there's a pillar of the Bengals available at 10, so that's why they make the trade for Dexter Lawrence.
That's it exactly. Yeah, it's franchise cornerstone type stuff. You've got a chance to keep it. Everybody did. The media got a chance to see quarterbacks spin it around, and we saw a lot of team, way more than we ever saw earlier this week. Yeah. Everybody wants to know about the quarterbacks, and you alluded to this, Shedeur and Deshaun, obviously at the top, and we'll see where Dylan figures into all of this. But it does feel like a 2-horse race. What did you observe? I think with those two guys specifically this week.
Well, starting with Deshaun, in incredible condition. He's worked very hard to get back from the 2 Achilles injuries. And he just looks the part. You walk up, you see a guy who's 6'3", 220, chiseled, and he's throwing lasers. He really is. His arm strength is very apparent, the tightness of the spiral, the accuracy, all of that. But again, these are routes on air. These are routes where, yes, you're doing some team drills, and certainly more than we would ever have seen at this point in an off-season program before. Even compared to the first OTA, I realize this is a voluntary minicamp and they couldn't have had that. But I think there's going to be a lot more football in the offseason for the Cleveland Browns. But Deshaun Watson, in terms of just standing there throwing the football, looks great. We've got to see what it's like when it's live. We got to see what it's like when he's getting hit. But felt like he knew where to go with the ball in the scheme early on. I know Todd Monkin is very happy with Deshaun Watson thus far, and he looked the best just from a pure stand there, watch this guy spin it standpoint. He looked the best. Shedeur Sanders has come back in much better condition than he was a year ago. He looked stronger, looks a little bit more cut. There is a difference in arm strength between he and Deshaun Watson that's pretty apparent, especially on intermediate throws. But as we saw last year, Shedeur's got plenty of arm. He can get on the run 55 yards in the air to Isaiah Bond. So sometimes maybe it's judicious with the speeds that he has there. Some reads were still not exactly what you want to see, but there's progress there. And from everything that I know, he's been there early, stayed late, was here all offseason, diving into the playbook. They're working with him on the playbook, and so he's made some strides as well. He's a guy that showed you great flashes last year, but too many what I would call back-breaking plays. And in the first day that was open to the media, for example, there was one where he got a press bail cover one, throws a go route on it, throws an interception, had the underneath speed out from number 2. That's something he's got to learn. He's got to recognize that, be quick with that decision, get the football out. But we know Shedeur's talented, so we'll see how it plays out. But just kind of eye test right now, Deshaun Watson looks very, very good, and it's clear that not only the Achilles is behind him right now, but that shoulder injury that he suffered against the Ravens in one of what I think is the biggest what-if with Deshaun Watson, that he didn't get to keep playing after that game and got kind of his mojo back. But you could see was affecting him early, even in training camp in 24 at the Greenbrier. His arm looks very good.
You're the best, buddy. I'll see you a little later.
You are. Can't wait. Draft day. Let's go.
There we go. It's Nathan Zegura on the Cleveland Browns radio network. You hear him right here on the Fan on Browns games, of course. And the Browns going to be at the center of this thing at 6 and 24. We get you 3 things on a Thursday. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
Common Man here for GoGermain.com. I have been telling you about my friends at Germain for a long time, and it's because they bring the goods. And right now, you get $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book on your trade during the Germain Trade and Upgrade Sales Event. Yes, cue the trumpets. Nearly 4,000 new and pre-owned vehicles, plus an extra $3,000 on your trade means your budget goes further. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Get started now at GoGermain.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. As a longtime homeowner, I know how it goes when it comes to things that need to be fixed around the house and you just haven't gotten to them. Like maybe that leaky faucet that always has a drip. You think about it, but you never take care of it, and now it's just a part of the house. It's character. Maybe it's your windows that are always sticking and you can't get them open. So you just don't think about it. Who cares? Except now the weather's nice. You want to open the windows, and again, you can't because they're not fixed. Get new windows from Window Nation. They've made it easy to get top quality custom fit windows with their the more you buy, the more you save sale. You could save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with zero interest for 5 years. Did you know investing in your home is actually one of the best investments you can make, especially in uncertain times? Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. Energy efficient, beautiful windows from Window Nation with great deals going on now. Schedule your free consultation at windownation.com.
Friday, May 1st, the Columbus Aviators take the field at 8 p.m. and the first 5,000 fans score a Jim Tressel bobblehead. Get your tickets at uflaviators.com.
This is Gordon Miller for Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. If you've been in the market for a new home or just wanted to take advantage of lower rates, recent events have shown exactly why Miller Lending chose to offer a way around bad timing with our no closing cost program. With no fees rolled in or charged, including the cost of title insurance, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance free of charge as rates improve. Over the past several months, we spoke to numerous borrowers who had heard rates were coming down and chose to wait. We explained that if rates did fall, you could simply update a few documents and refinance again, but why take the chance? So when rates spiked a 0.5% recently, not only was I disappointed that we couldn't help those who waited, but also for those buying a home who just saw a sharp increase to their monthly payment. So while we can't control the market, we can offer an alternative. Eliminate timing and say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Kerr Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept. And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Byrne. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer, or call us on your cell at Pound Law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, race what in on the poll on a Thursday.
The Daily Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks which of these Buckeyes will have the best NFL career. Your four options are Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs, Carnell Tate, or Sonny Styles. 70% say Caleb Downs, 16% say Arvell Reese, 8% Carnell Tate, 4% Sonny Styles.
Wow, that Sonny number is way too low. I just see no scenario where he's not a 10-year. I mean, you heard threes when he was on with us. 10, 12 years, green dot, face of the franchise, let's go, captain of the team. I just don't see any scenario where Sonny Styles doesn't work. I just need none. Potential, and I think all these guys are pretty much sure things, but like situationally with Carnell is going to be important. Do you land in a spot where you can have success? I mean, just look at Garrett Wilson. Like, Garrett Wilson is working. He's just on a bad team, and so he can't ever get going offensively. So there's that one. Arvell, I think, is a little bit of system, depending on what system you put him in, although three said he could play off ball or on the edge, either one. Caleb seems like a sure thing to me no matter what. The only thing with him would be just maybe can he hold up size-wise? There's been no reason to believe that he couldn't. But Sonny is, to me, this like lock, stock, safe. I don't know if he'll be a gold jacket, but I see no scenario he doesn't play 12 years in the league.
That's one of the reasons I love Arvell to the Titans, is because I think the Titans have the flexibility to play him at edge, or they could leave him at linebacker, and I trust that Saleh would put him in the right spot.
Yeah. All right, time for three things on a Thursday. Hit it, fellas.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number one for me tonight is the NFL draft. Give me Kuiper. Give me Kuiper. I don't know if he's got the fastball like he used to have, but there's something about that hair, that voice, that analysis that I need. I know that, and Jeremiah is amazing. He does a great job and is incredibly knowledgeable and dialed in on all of it. I'm a Kuiper guy, though, so I'll be with Mel Kuiper tonight.
Who's his guy that starts sliding that he's going to go crazy about like he did Shador last year?
He was lost it on the Shador thing last year.
If you're looking for something to do for the NFL draft, if you don't have plans, join Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas at the sportsbook at the Hollywood Casino Columbus. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is a place you can throw things at Dave Biddle.
I mean, that's always a win right
Won't
there.
condone it, but he's there so you can.
It's always a win right there.
They might throw you out, but...
And the best part is the Bengals don't have a pick tonight, so Bids is going to be okay. He's going to be fine. He's not going to be nervous. He's not going to be angry. Everything's going to be good
They're
for
so
him this
far the
evening.
leader in the clubhouse and who's had the best NFL draft.
So I got out of the show. We got out of the show yesterday, and I go over to my desk, and Dom is right there. He's got it queued up.
Oh,
hey, Bake, come look at this. See what I said.
Break. Do me a favor.
Hey, come over here.
Come look at this. Come look at this, Bake.
So
you think I said this?
It's him, and it's Tim May, and it's Adam King. And Dom starts off, and now I don't know if this was the beginning of wall to wall or not. It's just footage he had up in his video editing software, and it's Dom starting off. He's like, first of all, let's talk about this quarterback controversy. There is none. Julian Sayin is the starter. So I don't know if there's another clip out there. I don't know. I'm working on getting this for us for the show next Tuesday for Tuesdays with Taberi, which it sounds like is going to be from Aruba. Good job out of you, Dom.
He's got all that money.
We're working on getting this audio for that and see if there is anything else. But it looks like Dom has been exonerated. So all of you on the YouTube chat and in the Twitter space, Dom did not start a quarterback controversy.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he won the trial of Taberi. He did, to his credit. Number two for me, I saw this yesterday. Barrett Jackson is coming to Columbus June 25th to the 27th.
Yeah.
Guess I know where I'll be. That is like my kids may watch Shark Tank or they'll watch, what's his nuts builds a treehouse. For me, give me Barrett Jackson. If I'm looking for something to just get me through an hour, I'll do 45 minutes of Barrett Jackson in my sleep.
Have you ever been?
No, I'm telling you, that's where I'm going to be.
So I've been.
As long as I'm not out of state for lacrosse, I'm going to be there.
I've been to Scottsdale twice.
It's got to be unbelievable.
I'll try to get you some hookups on this.
Oh, geez, I didn't know you had all these. Jeez, look at Bake. Subtle flex there from Bakeries.
Second thing for me, so Charlie Baker is pushing for the proposal to allow Division I athletes 5 years of eligibility. It'll be voted on as emergency legislation in May, so implementation could be within the next 30 days. This from television superstar Jacob Reimer. If 5 and 5 goes into effect next month, it's going to create so much chaos. So many seniors entered the transfer portal just in case this happened. C1 Christoph Tilley.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the best players are going to be in the draft.
Yes, but maybe more importantly for the Ohio State Buckeyes, Bruce Thornton, new NIL deal.
Oh, gosh, I didn't even
think about this. Good job out of you.
Maybe more importantly for this Ohio State, if Bruce, and I've given Bruce some stuff, if Bruce comes back and gets another year, this Buckeyes team might be cooking next year.
Jeez. Yeah, that would be, okay, I stand corrected. That would be a massive thing.
That's a thing.
Hey, speaking of cooking, we had a show today, boys. Like,
that's right.
We don't usually brag on ourselves, but we had a heck of a show today. So if you missed any of James Lauronitis or Paul Finebaum talking about Kaylin Dbor or Nathan Zegura talking about the Buckeyes and the Browns tonight in the draft, make sure you go find the show wherever you get your audio, your podcast. Just make sure you like and subscribe with you there. We also have the interviews posted up over at the 971 BFS Twitter page as well.
All right. Number 3 for me. I saw AR, Maddie, and Cole had a conversation about, would you work on a farm $1 million a day? How long would you work there before you quit? The problem with this is the number's too big. I love the discussion, but the number's too big. The number should have been $30K a day so that you had to reach a point of where you're very comfortable. Maddie do 30 days at $1 million a day. First of all, Maddie, he'd thrive. You would thrive. You could do 200 days, and you'd be a 200 millionaire. Like, that would be easy. So I just think that the number needed to be a little lower, and then you could have to stay a little longer to get a point of wealth. The other point is I should have been brought on as a consultant because farm, ranch are two very different jobs. Farming would have been a piece of cake. You do that in your sleep. That's easy. That's mostly automated at this point anyway. So that you can do in your sleep.
Final thing for me, so a 1997 Kobe Bryant Metal Universe Precious Metal Gems green card has been purchased by alternative trading platform Alt for $3.15 million. That's the most ever paid for a solo Kobe Bryant card. The last time someone paid for a solo Bryant card, paid a bunch, $2.4 million, back in September of 2025. The card looks sweet. I don't get any of the card thing. Is it a quality investment where if you're paying $3.15 for it now, in 10 years, are you getting double your return on that?
It's all about scarcity. What sucks now about the card business is they manufacture scarcity, which stinks. So, yeah, that's where you're at.
You mentioned Rothman and Ice, Bo. They are coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Also, if you missed any of the James Laurinaitis interview, I've heard they will be playing some answers from that during the Buckeye Bulletin at 1:48. So stay tuned for that.
You have that to look forward to, which is very, very nice. We're back tomorrow. Enjoy the draft tonight, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy. Moonlights as